Hey guys, welcome to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judea Murray. I'm going to be your host for the next couple of hours. Let me talk to you about how things are going to go here. So this is a live, interactive news conversation. I'll be telling you about some stories of the day, some of our top headlines, and of course we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. But I want you to know you can interact with me in real time. So if you're watching us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you can jump in the comment section, in the chat section, and hit me with your questions. If you want to ask a reporter something who's out in the field as well, that is the perfect time to do so. So it's going to be an interesting morning, to say the least. But first, I want to take a live look outside. It is another gorgeous day here in the city of Atlanta. I want to know just how long it's going to last, and so wanted to bring up meteorologist Greg Majeski. Greg, you've been talking to everybody on Good Day Atlanta about what they can expect for the day. Lay it on us.
Well, we're looking at a pretty good day. Although it's cold outside, if you didn't notice.
Oh, yes, I noticed.
I did say it was going to be kind of cold this morning. But the good news is, guys, we're in sort of a pretty decent day. We have some clouds today, but really not looking too bad. Looking at the big picture, of course, we got a little game going out there in San Francisco.
Just a little one.
Just a little game. Yeah, it's good weather out there. Looks like we're going to have no issues from any weather out on the West Coast. Looks like we're going to be in store for temperatures in the 60s for game time, maybe fall into the 50s during the game, but should no problems out there. And San Francisco, we do not have to worry about that. That's the good news on that front. Now, as far as what we're seeing here close to home, radar is clear. The story for this upcoming week is that we're going to see a pattern change, which is going to bring in better opportunities for rain. The first round arriving by Wednesday, and then we'll see some more going into the next week. The other part of the weather story this week is the fact that we're going to be continuing to see a nice warm-up. Now, here's our current temperatures. They bottomed out a lot of areas in the 20s this morning. We're warming up nicely with the sunshine and looking pretty good today, as we'll see temperatures fairly seasonal, a little bit of an easterly wind here across our area here for this afternoon. And the winds, which were a problem yesterday, you notice they're pretty light out there this morning. Not a problem. So if you were holding off doing perhaps getting that car wash today, yeah, you're looking pretty good today. Go ahead and get that done. All right. So high pressure's in control here across the southeast, looking pretty good indeed. But we're going to see a westerly wind developing across this. It's going to warm things up. Got a few clouds around here for your Monday and going into Tuesday as well. We'll see that coming on through. And then Wednesday will bring us a chance of some rain, although, again, not a whole lot showing up here on the Barron model. Well, the model's maybe a little more aggressive, but we got several opportunities. They're all fairly weak systems. The more vigorous system does appear to be for this upcoming weekend, so we'll continue to watch that very closely. So today's high temperatures, these are seasonal. It's about where they're supposed to be for this time of year. Not looking too bad out there. Sunshine, a few clouds later this afternoon. Overnight lows tonight. Again, these are lows tonight. I forgot I got to change it tomorrow. My bad. So, but anyway, those lows this morning. But again, highs tomorrow looking like this. We'll see temperatures in the 60s, looking pretty nice. Yeah, nice little rebound there going in for tomorrow. Here goes the rest of the 7-day forecast here. As again, we'll see a nice little warm up here. Yeah, 71 on Tuesday. That's going to feel pretty good. And then we got the increased rain chances coming at us, and then we do cool it back down here going into next weekend. But we've got a nice little February thaw there. I mean, we don't even see below freezing temperatures after this morning, really, for the rest of the week. So nice little break. We'll take it.
Oh my goodness, you guys couldn't see me. My eyes bugged out of my head when we went to this 7-day forecast and I saw 71.
71, yeah. Tuesday's gonna be the warm day.
Okay, so, looking forward to that.
Yeah,
that means you kids, you're not gonna be out of school anymore. It's time to hunker down and get to work. Greg, thank you so much for giving us a live look at our forecast. We will definitely be checking back with you soon.
Okay.
He mentioned the Super Bowl. Of course, I told you we were going to be talking about that soon as well. But I want to get into some of our top news of the day. Do you guys remember yesterday there was that SWAT standoff here in Georgia?
That was
in Atlanta. Yeah, not far at all away from the station. I know we have some video from the scene. I want to see if we can roll it so I can chit chat about what happened out there with you guys. So what we know about this situation, Greg, I'll let you know as well. We sent our reporter out there pretty quickly after it happened. This is all at the Helios apartment complex, and we know that a large police presence was reported, and then soon enough SWAT started rolling in. It really got active very quickly, and it took hours worth of a standoff before we had any arrest. You see the person being put in the police car, and our photojournalist actually caught it while streaming out what he could for us here. We broke in with coverage on the Fox Local app. So let me take a pause to remind you that if you want to know about anything that is happening live around you, happening right now, Fox Local app is the best way to get that information. We try to update you guys as quickly as possible. Now, here's why that area was so congested. 2 Atlanta Police Department officers responded to a call near Cheshire Bridge Road, an apartment complex out there called Helios. And while they were responding, they were ambushed by a suspect. That suspect was barricaded inside the apartment complex, and for hours, it took hours worth of negotiations, worth of officers coming through the scene. That area was closed off, and I told you guys yesterday, Cheshire Bridge Road, if you're unfamiliar with that part, I mean, it's really close to Buckhead. I'm actually not sure if that is still considered Buckhead. But out there near Lenox Road, La Vista is also very close there. You know, that apartment complex that burned down a couple of years ago, I think 1 or 2 years ago at this point. Very close to that area. A lot of people roll through there. There's even a McDonald's nearby. And so when traffic was shut down, that backed people up. I saw traffic all the way down to downtown Atlanta. So it was, you know, really wild that this is the area where all of that happened. We know that that suspect who quote unquote ambushed those police officers fired some shots. Luckily, those 2 officers, even though they were injured, were not injured badly. What we know about that situation, I believe 1 officer was grazed by a bullet. Another officer, they say, had some lacerations, so cuts or of some sort, maybe some scrapes on his arms. And honestly, that is a miracle, because one of those officers, the one who was grazed, was actually hit in the head by a bullet. So they were taken to Grady Memorial Hospital. They've since been released. As you could see, that person was put in the back of the squad car and taken off, where he will be facing some charges. His identity has not yet been released, I don't believe, just yet. But police say they are not sure whether he lived in the apartment complex or, you know, why he was at that building in general. And as I mentioned to you guys, it was a very big scene out there. They actually had a press conference closer to, I believe it was 1 o'clock, 1:30 when we cut in with that breaking news. We aired the whole thing in its entirety, so I want to let you listen in to what the officers told us happened.
Okay, so good afternoon. I'm Major Pete Malecki with the Atlanta Police Department. Behind me, I have our Homicide Commander, Lieutenant Christopher Butler, and to my left, I have the Assistant Major Crimes Commander, Captain Jermaine Dearlove. So first of all, I want to thank everyone here, the community, for their patience as we worked through this difficult situation this morning. So around 7:30 this morning, our officers did respond to a 911 call for shots fired. That was at 2470 Cheshire Bridge. When officers arrived out there, they did notice indications of gunfire coming from a specific apartment. The officers went to clear that apartment. When they made entry into one of the back bedrooms, they were immediately met by gunfire from an individual who was barricaded in the apartment. Throughout that gunfire, we did have 2 officers sustain injuries. One suffered shrapnel injuries to his arm, and the other one suffered a gunshot wound to the head. Thankfully, it was a graze wound, so both of our officers are okay. They were checked out at Grady and subsequently cleared. The officers were able to pull back, establish a crime scene, a perimeter, which time we did call in our SWAT team, as you guys saw the heavy police activity in the area. And just moments ago, our SWAT team was able to successfully take that suspect into custody without any further injuries. So we're extremely grateful that no one in the community was injured and that we were able to take this guy into custody without incident. We did have 5 officers at that initial onset of gunfire that discharged their firearms. The suspect was not hit by gunfire, so we have requested the GBI to come in and assist us in leading the investigation. So I'm sure there's a lot of questions. We do not have that individual identified yet. I do not know what his relationship is yet to that apartment, whether he lived there, was a guest, or whatever. So we're just not sure. Now that the scene is safe, we'll begin to focus on the investigative process and get some of the answers to those questions.
This sounds like it was so close to being so much worse.
In that unit during that time of those shots fired. Are you guys finding out that there was a person in there at all when it happened?
So as of right now, the apartment has been cleared. We did not find any other individuals inside.
You had an officer grazed on the head, another shot. I mean, this is so close to being a real tragedy out here today, especially thinking about what's happening up north in Gwinnett County today.
I mean, we're extremely fortunate. I think when you have a situation like this, thankfully our training is on point. The officers are very well trained, and we're very fortunate that it didn't end in a tragedy today.
And talk about that pulling back, because you do the initial call, responding to an emergency, then you realize you have to pull back and bring in a different kind of a response.
Absolutely, and again, that's what we're trained for. That's why the officers undergo the training that they have. That's why we have a new public safety training center to provide top-notch training to our officers. And it's not just for the officers, but really it allows the best outcome for the community and keeping everyone safe. So, again, very fortunate.
Bridget over here. Bridget, was there like any negotiations or anything deployed to get him?
Absolutely, yeah. We did try to negotiate. Unfortunately, he would not come out, and that's what led to the lengthy standoff that took place.
You understand that there's other officers on that floor as well. Do you understand that if any of those officers that were shot lived by this individual?
So that, again, I don't know that yet. That's all part of the investigation that we have to really dig into at this point.
And that man that just drove by in the back of that car, was that the individual?
It is, yes. Yeah.
Let's make it clear that CBS has nothing to do with it. They just allowed us to use them.
Correct. Yeah.
So, the suspect, was he armed with a long gun, handgun?
We still got to determine that. Now that the scene is safe, once the GBI arrives on scene, we'll go in and begin processing that for evidence, and we'll hopefully have an answer to that shortly.
And that initial call, was that from someone in the apartment, someone in the apartment complex? How did you all end up out here?
Yeah, the 911 call came from the apartment complex. Yep.
Take us through what it went. Take us through what it went to get to this point. I mean, we saw people behind the apartment, in the apartment, ring video of it happening. I mean, take us through that.
Yeah. So again, once the initial incident took place, the officers followed their training. They pulled back, set up a perimeter, and that's to ensure that no one else is in danger going into the crime scene, and that, of course, that the suspect is unable to flee out and pose a danger to the community.
This caused widespread traffic problems and stuff. When was the last time you recall this big of a daily disruption?
Again, it certainly does cause a disruption, but safety to everyone is paramount, and so we will do what we need to do, obviously, to keep everyone safe. So I can't think of another time recently, but again, we do everything we can to expedite it while keeping everyone safe.
All right, thank you everyone for any.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, so you guys were listening in into that press conference that happened shortly after we saw the arrest being made, the person getting in the back of the car. Caitlin, you headed out to the scene. I don't know if you were the first reporter there. I mean, you let me know, but...
Yes, yeah, I mean, this all happened so fast from the time we got the information here to our newsroom to me leaving the scene, and it's about 10 minutes max to get there. In that time, the streets were shut down. Police were moving in, and as I got my equipment out to, capture footage for us, and you're looking at it right now, that's when everyone started arriving, putting up that yellow tape and just securing that perimeter. I want to tell you, Judea, I just looked the Fulton County jail records, and this suspect has been booked in. We don't have his mugshot quite yet, but I want to let you know that Alante Ray is facing some serious charges as a result of this encounter, possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, of course, and then aggravated assault against law enforcement officers. We do know that, of course, 2 of them were hurt. Shrapnel wound for one, a grazing of the head for the other. Really, truly, the best this could have gone as far as a police shooting is involved, right? So it was interesting to see this all play out in real time there on the scene here, and just the force. We had APD, right? You had your MARTA police there, and you can see how serious they are looking at that video. They brought out the big guns, right? And then they pushed everyone back from the apartment complex, the Helios complex. And yesterday, Judea, I was able to catch up with one neighbor in particular. He had a really interesting vantage point in the hallway where this was all taking place. He woke to the commotion outside, went to go look, and was told, get back inside. His girlfriend also went to take a look herself and saw one of the officers apparently staggering back
my gosh.
after being injured, and from there they ended up being evacuated like the other residents there at the complex. But this day and age, everyone has like a Ring camera, right?
Yeah,
Or some
yeah.
sort of security camera. So they were monitoring the situation throughout the morning. I mean, we're talking 4 hours at least.
Yeah. Yep.
And they were monitoring it where they saw negotiators going, knocking on the door, trying to get this individual out, Alante Ray, and it took some time. He is now in custody, was taken to the hospital to be checked out just in case, but was not hurt, is now at the Fulton County Jail facing some charges. So, I mean, as far as scenarios go, this was best case when officers were involved and shot at. So.
Yeah. I mean, let's put the context here because I do want to let people know. Yesterday when all of this was happening, we were also attending a funeral for an officer who, with his partner, had been shot at. He unfortunately did not make it. So, I mean, you've got this scene over here in Gwinnett County where this officer is being laid to rest for a shooting just like this. And then you have a scene over here in Atlanta where 2 officers shot at, and luckily the story ends a little better, but still just a scary situation for everyone.
Layers of irony, of course, right there. And it was 1 week ago that Officer
Pradeep Tamang.
Yes, was unfortunately killed, and his fellow officer colleague still recovering from his wounds as far as that goes. So this situation, just thankful, I'm sure. These 2 officers were hurt in just such a minor way. Although it is a reminder, though, of just how dangerous this job is, law enforcement. So they were just responding to shots fired, gunfire, went to that apartment, according to investigators, and the suspect, they say, was just holed up in a back bedroom, didn't want to come out, started shooting. So that's what led to that situation. Maybe you guys were in traffic in the area and a lot of people rolling down their windows, what's going on?
Yeah, everybody wants to know what's going on.
I mean, goodness, right?
Yeah.
And so SWAT, you see that video, they were called in, a whole lot of officers on hand just in case, and fortunately the just in case didn't have to happen, but they were ready for it. Just
now, Kaylin, I want to pick your brain because you had a very unique point of view as we talked there. I mean, you could see the apartment complex, you could see all the officers coming in. You were one of the first people to get out there as well and talk back with us with what you were seeing. Let's talk about how long it took to, get a suspect, but also just for us to get information. I know it can be kind of sensitive when SWAT is involved. Can you talk more to that?
Yeah, for sure. So, of course, as reporters, as professional observers, you get there in the scene and, there's a large police presence. You're going to want to let our audience know because, of course, you had multiple streets shut down. You had those flashing lights. You had a major presence. People are going to want to know what in the world's going on. So that's first things first. While we don't know what exactly is happening, we can report, yes, what we're seeing. And that is the streets are shut down. These are the people responding. They seem to be focusing on this area. Here's what our viewers have called into the Fox 5 newsroom and sent us pictures of. We start there. And then we reach out to the public information officers, Atlanta Police. We also reached out to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. They're usually involved in a situation where an officer is involved in a police shooting, so we reached out to them as well. So we start to get those clues, that information, the initial information. Yes, police have responded to a shooting. An officer, yes, is involved. So there we go. We build on that, and then you start to see the people at the scene, those people who were evacuated from the apartment complex. What can you tell us? That's when they relay what they saw, their experience, and you just kind of flesh out the story there. They did have a staging area, usually in a barricade/hostage situation. That's what police do to keep a perimeter and keep reporters, keep the public back from any sort of dangerous zone. And so that's what we saw play out yesterday. That's why all those streets, Cheshire Bridge, that whole entire area leading up to Lenox was shut down so that the police could focus their effort. They got the residents out. They were trying to communicate with that suspect in that apartment unit. It ended, yes, but after 4 hours. And we saw a lot of frustrated people just trying to get back to their apartments, back to their Saturday afternoon, right? And thankfully they were able to take him into custody without anyone else getting hurt in the process.
Very cool to hear the behind the scenes of how you guys get the information, how you get it out to the audience. And I mean, even I was stuck in traffic. I left hours after the arrest was made and the scene was supposed to be cleared. Yes, there were just so many people traveling down along that same road. So yes, it's nice to know what actually happened. Also lovely to know that those officers are going to be okay. I think that's the most important part about it. Caitlin, thank you for helping me break this down. I'm going to ask you to come back a little later, or you know, there may be other news of the day that you get out to, but this has been really, really great. You guys don't go anywhere. We have a lot more coming up for you right after this. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. The news does continue, so I want to talk to you about a tragic incident that happened here in Georgia that we're just learning more information about. We also have some pictures to share with you all. A family, as we have heard from Gwinnett County, is mourning the loss of their teenage son. He was killed by a stray bullet that fired through a motel room that he had been staying in with his family. His name is Sheldon Lewis. You're taking a look at I believe this is some older video that we have up here, but you were taking a look there at 17-year-old Sheldon Lewis. Maybe we can pull up one of those pictures and just freeze on it. But this incident, as we know, occurred 11 p.m. on Thursday at the Live in Hodge. Coming back to me here in studio. At the Live in Hodge extended stay, this all on Stone Mountain Highway. According to police, Lewis, the 17-year-old, was an 11th grade student at Parkview High School. He was inside the room playing video games inside that motel when a bullet went through a shared wall and hit him. And so obviously the whole family just absolutely devastated by this. Gwinnett County Police have made an arrest. 31-year-old Shamarcus Cochran, who was staying in the room next to the Lewis family, was taken into custody. Officers say that Cochran told detectives he had recently returned from a gun range. He was just cleaning his firearm when it accidentally discharged. So he says he didn't mean to fire that gun. He didn't mean to shoot this 17-year-old or take his life. That bullet passed through the wall and of course struck Lewis, who died at the scene. Cochran was charged with involuntary manslaughter and reckless conduct. Now, the Lewis family had been going through a lot. I just mentioned they were at that motel. This was an extended stay motel. They explained that they were experiencing some financial hardship. Also, someone in their family was battling cancer, so they had enough to deal with before something like this happened. We got to speak to family members. I want to let you listen in on some of the information they told us, and I do warn you, it is very emotional.
We were all there to witness it, which makes it more traumatic than it seems. Like, a phone call would have been easier to process, but actually witnessing it and him taking his last breaths was hard to see.
That is Tamaya Lewis. She's Sheldon's sister, and of course explaining there how all of this happened and how hard it was to watch her brother take his last breaths. Now, she says that her brother will be and should be remembered as a passionate young man who had a affinity for cooking. He wanted to be a chef one day. He still had so much life ahead of him. Well, the family, they're staying in a different hotel now to try to escape that site of the tragedy that unfolded there. And of course, I did tell you a family member, Sheldon's mother, was battling cancer. She still is. So she still needs to be in a safe place where she can get healthy and work and focus on getting better. The Lewis family has started a GoFundMe, hoping that it'll help them cover the funeral expenses to bury him. But again, that is 17-year-old Sheldon Lewis lost his life after a gunshot through a motel room that he had been staying in hit him. But this, according to the person who is now facing charges, was an accidental firing. He did not mean to for his weapon to go off. All right, in some other news, we've got some sports news ahead for you. We heard that a 3-time World Series champion has unfortunately died at age 34. So I want to bring you in that video. You know him as Tarance Gore. He once played for the Atlanta Braves. Unfortunately, we heard on Saturday the Kansas City Royals announced that he died at age 34. Now, he was a member of the team when they won the American League Championship Series in 2014 and 2015. This was all part of their World Series winning team in 2015. He had played for a couple of years with major league teams like the Royals, the Atlanta Braves, Chicago Cubs, Los Angeles Dodgers, and even the New York Mets. He was one of the unique players in Major League Baseball. He added to postseason rosters for his ability to pitch, run, and play outfield defense. He actually played 112 regular season games in his career. So, you know, no joke there. One of the things that people say made him so notable as a baseball player, his ability to steal bases. They said it made him a staple on just about any team that he joined. He actually went 5 for 6 in stolen base attempts in the postseason. So again, a very big deal there. He's from Macon, Georgia, so we know that our folks here will be mourning his loss. He appeared in 2 regular season games for the Dodgers back in 2020, and he was on the roster for the first 2 series victories of the Dodgers World Series run in 2020. So we are getting more information about him. I do want to let you know he's survived by his wife Brittany and their 3 children, and I do wish them the best in this recovery process, this time where they're going to have to try to make sense of his sudden death and try to find a way to move on with life. But that's the latest that we have there on that. I also want to talk to you about a Falcons rookie who was allegedly arrested after a domestic dispute with a WNBA player that you probably know very well. So you're looking there at photos of James Pierce Jr. He was an Atlanta Falcons rookie. He was arrested near Miami just on Saturday night. Police say he fled from them. He also crashed his car. Police say that the reason that they were looking for him and that he had quote unquote been on the run was because of a domestic dispute with WNBA player Rickea Jackson. So Pierce, he was a first-round pick who led the Falcons in sacks. He was a 3rd in NFL NFL defense. He was Rookie of the Year voting. He was booked into the Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center after police say that they investigated that reported domestic dispute and then, of course, found him after he had crashed his car. According to jail records, he's facing 2 charges of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, as well as aggravated stalking and fleeing or eluding police with lights or sirens. We haven't heard anything just yet on any potential bond. And the Falcons did respond to this. They said in a statement that they are aware of the arrest. And if I can read part of that statement to you, it says, "We are aware of an incident involving James Pierce Jr. in Miami. We are in the process of gathering more information and will not have any further comment on an open legal matter at this time." So that's what we have there on that situation. Kind of wild that it unfolded in Miami, especially right before the Super Bowl, but it's definitely on everybody's radar. Another football player, former Jets first-round pick Darren Lee, has been charged with murder in his girlfriend's death. So former New York Jets first-round draft pick Darren Lee, he was arrested in Tennessee. He was charged with murder in the death of his girlfriend just earlier this week, according to some police officers. Lee is only 31 years old. He was arrested by the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office on Thursday, and he was also charged with first-degree murder and tampering with or fabricating evidence, according to the records online. He's being held without bond and may be back in court to face a judge on Wednesday, so we will definitely be looking out for that. He was an Ohio State standout, but his arrest, as we have heard, stems from the death of his girlfriend, who has not yet been identified by law enforcement, pending the family's notification. So here's how that goes. They usually will wait until they're able to reach the quote-unquote next of kin. So once they can talk to family and tell them about the incident, that is when they'll report identities to the media. The worst thing that I think can happen is you don't know what happened to your family member until you get online or until you read or watch the news. So that's what they're trying to avoid there. ESPN says that they heard deputies were dispatched to a home with reports of CPR in progress on Thursday afternoon. Now, once they were on the scene, first responders tried to perform some life-saving measures on the woman, his girlfriend, before she was later, unfortunately, declared dead. And the sheriff's office ruled her death a homicide. So that's the latest that we have there on that. As soon as I know some more information, if I can tell you exactly when on Wednesday we can expect to maybe possibly see that court hearing or that first appearance, I will certainly let you all know. All right, let's bring it back here to me in studio. Still ahead, we are going to be talking about the Super Bowl. I also want to talk to you a little bit more about the Gwinnett County officer who was laid to rest just yesterday. We're still learning more information about that potential story there, and also I want to let you know about ways that you may be able to support the family if you so choose. I'll have all of that and more when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judea Murray. I want to walk you through yesterday the celebration of life that we got to watch in real time for Gwinnett County Officer Pradeep Tamang, sorry. That is the officer that we know was shot and killed out in Stone Mountain while responding to a fraud call at a hotel. Now that celebration of life took place at 12 Stone Church. You could see there that video that we had of the police chief leading in a group of people, the pallbearers who brought in his casket that was draped by a U.S. flag. Officer Tamang, as we have learned, had a big how do I want to say this, presence in his community. A lot of people knew him, a lot of people loved him. He was only 25 years old. We learned his birthday is April 8th, 2000, so he was about to turn 26 years old. There's so many things that we can go through, but let's start with who exactly he was. So he graduated from the police academy before he could become a Gwinnett County police officer back in 2025. I believe it was May, so only a couple of months that he was on the scene, in the field, out patrolling. At the time, we also learned that he had a long list of accomplishments, especially educational ones. He had received his associate's degree at the same time he got his high school diploma. He went on to get his bachelor's degree and then also got his master's and was considering studying even longer to get his PhD. We know that he loved animals. Family and friends tell us that at one point he actually considered opening his own animal sanctuary. He also loved video games, and most people talked about his smile. So of course he has a modest one here for the police department, but you can see it kind of just wants to break through. Everybody talked so much about how big and warm his smile was. And so of course at that celebration of life service, there were a lot of tears, so many people in the room. We got to hear from his fiancée, who had an especially emotional response to everything that happened. I want to let you listen into what she had to say.
Hello everyone, my name is Ingsama, and I want to thank you all for being here today to honor Pradeep. Seeing the community show up for him during this time means a lot, and I know it would have meant so much to him as well. Pradeep truly loved being a police officer. He would come home from work and immediately tell me about his day, what he experienced, what he learned, and the people he helped. Since he was an introvert, he had a goal to become more extroverted and mentioned that being an officer helped him grow to be more outgoing and confident. He had expressed his gratitude towards his precinct and department. I'm thankful that his career helped him grow in so many ways. Pradeep was a loving and caring partner who was always there for me. It was a privilege to love and know him all these years. He came into my life and made it so much better. Knowing Pradeep, he would be so happy to see his legacy being celebrated and respected today. He's being honored in the way he truly deserves, and I hope his legacy lives on, continuing to inspire and give courage to everyone, especially law enforcement officers. I hope he's at peace now, free from stress, and truly happy. Thank you all.
A very brave woman that you just heard from, courageous, I would say, too, able to talk through her emotions, to address all of the people who came out to help support her, her family. We do know that Officer Tamang was from Nepal. He had relocated here to the United States years ago, and I believe it was Pennsylvania where he had put down his roots. Most of his family actually still living there. They had to be taken to Georgia in order to attend attend that celebration of life. And so I can hear, I mean, you all saw as well, just how emotional, how strongly she felt, how much she loved him. They had recently gotten engaged as well. So he was looking forward to their wedding one day. Unfortunately, that won't be able to happen. But in addition to her thanking the people who came out to support him, to show love for him, we also know that the Gwinnett County Police Department has put together a fundraiser where you or anybody who would like to can actually send out some money if they would like to help the family come to terms with what happened there. It'll help with funeral costs, the burial, of course, and then it also will be able to help his fiancée as she continues to try to move forward. Now, the other officer that you see on this page here, I want to talk quickly about Major David. His last name is escaping me for some reason, but he's the officer who was with Officer Tamang when gunfire erupted at that hotel out in Stone Mountain. So what we know there, the both of them were responding to a quote-unquote fraud call when a suspect that they were looking into, Kevin Andrews, had allegedly invited them into the room. They were talking. Apparently he had some other warrants and they were going to serve those warrants and arrest him, and that is when things took a turn. So what police have told us is that the suspect fired shots at them. They were hit. They returned fire. The suspect was hit. All of them were taken to the hospital, and unfortunately, Officer Tamang did not survive his injuries. We do know that the other officer is actually still in the hospital, Officer Reed. His name is Master Police Officer David Reed. He was also taken to the hospital. He is surviving his injuries. We do know he went into surgery not too long ago. Now, talking more about what exactly happened that day and how heartfelt he feels about it, I want to let you guys listen into the quick soundbite. It's the speech from the police chief during that celebration of life. Let's listen in together.
Good morning. I want to extend my sincerest appreciation for the outpouring of support from across the country and express my gratitude to those who have taken the time to honor our fallen brother today. U.S. Attorney Theodore Hertzberg, Governor Brian Kemp, and First Lady Marty. There are numerous state representatives here, but as far as federal law enforcement, I want to thank DEA Atlanta, the U.S. Secret Service, FBI Atlanta, the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, the Georgia State Patrol, Gwinnett County Chairwoman Nicole Love Henderson, and our district commissioners, as well as County Administrator Glenn Stevens, the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office, the Gwinnett County District Attorney's Office, the Lawrenceville Police Department, and many others. It is with a heavy heart that I stand before you this morning. So often during my tenure as chief of police, I had one prayer, some days silent, some days out loud, but my prayer was that I never lose an officer in the line of duty. And this is a prayer that's all too familiar to chiefs around the country. This is a day that no chief or fellow officer welcomes, and one that no family should ever have to endure. Words aren't sufficient for this moment. And I want to make a correction here. So I grew up in Georgia. Lieutenant McClendon grew up in Georgia. So as we see Tamang's name, our first instinct is Tamang, right? So you're going to hear me refer to him as Tamang. So I've worked hard to get the correct pronunciation. But if I go back to Tamang, please forgive me. To the Tamang family, please know that your son, fiancé, brother is held in the highest regard and will live on in our memories always. He gave everything for this job and for this community, and we are forever grateful. Even in this dark time, the very mention of Officer Pradeep Tamang, his name pierces the shadow that's over us today. We remember his light, like the eternal flame that he watched over as a guardian and as a brother. Every officer who pins on this badge represents the shield of defense. And that polished badge reflects the light of hope back out into the community that we serve. When we meet darkness head on, when we run toward the danger we shield others from, we carry the torch of peace. Who will go for us? That's the call every officer in here hears. Send me is the answer that we give each day. It's the answer Officer Tamang gave. Even though he isn't standing with us here today, that light he fought to protect still shines. It can never be extinguished. It will not be distinguished. Pradeep Tamang, badge 2741, bravely answered the call. We were proud to have his experience, a master's degree from the University of Akron and from his time working in corrections. But we're also deeply proud of his journey that his family so proudly talked about. Pradeep came to this country from Nepal more than 16 years ago, embodying the best of the American spirit. Here was an officer eager to learn, passionate about his work, driven by purpose. So many remember his quirky smile, his infectious energy, and both of those made him a joy to work around. One of my good friends and our Southside Precinct Commander, Major Matt Brookins, described Tamang as, and I quote, the epitome of everything you want in an officer.
And so while they're praising him there, that's something that they told us too, something that they really loved and appreciated about Officer Tamang is how much he just loved being a police officer. They say he enjoyed being able to serve and protect his community. There are so many stories that we have heard from people out in the community themselves who had a run-in with him one way or another. One mom actually talking about her son who's on the autism spectrum, who needed some help. He was experiencing some mental health episodes, and at that point in time they sent out Officer Tamang, who, according to her, was just so kind and loving towards her son, at one point in time actually offering to take him to go get McDonald's, because that's just the kind of person that he was. And so there are so many other things that we could say about this officer. We will be talking about this the rest of the morning, so there are some other details that I would like to get to eventually. But the last thing I do want to leave you with is, during that service, the police chief that you were just hearing from awarded Tamang 3 posthumous honors. They included the Medal of Valor, the department's highest award, and a couple of other things as well. So that's what we have there on that. If for whatever reason you would like to go back and watch that service, we did have it live for you on YouTube, so you can go back and revisit it, listen into some of the heartfelt things his family and friends and colleagues had to say if you so choose. But you all, still ahead, want to talk to you about some big court cases that we will be covering this coming week. We've been covering one of them, the Tara Baker murder trial. You probably have heard about it one way or another. I want to get you the latest updates on what we have seen in the courtroom so far and what we're expecting to hear this week ahead. We'll be right back. guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judea Murray. Big game tonight. We know the Super Bowl is on and popping tonight in California. Later on, we're going to be having a live interview with a reporter who's there on the scenes as things are unfolding. I'll be checking in with her in just a little bit. But first, I want to talk to you about what you can expect before kickoff. You know, the big game's happening around 6 or so. Are you and your friends heading out there? How are you going to celebrate? There are so many watch parties happening around the Metro Atlanta area, but as we do know, tonight's game, the Seahawks will face the New England Patriots at Levi's Stadium out in California. We're taking a look there at the stadium where they were getting all set up. It's been an exciting couple of weeks leading up to the big game. One of the things that everybody is looking forward to, I mean, besides, of course, the matchup that everybody has been talking about for the past couple of weeks and how this is a rematch for Seattle's last Super Bowl appearance, but everybody is also talking about the halftime performance. Of course, you know, Bad Bunny will take the stage. I'm 100% interested in seeing which songs he ends up performing. Listen, I've been getting on my Duolingo. I have been practicing my Spanish so that I can enjoy myself when he starts singing. I can't wait to see who he brings out and whether or not he makes this a cultural moment. The other thing that I do know is there will be a couple of people performing before the game. Of course, you know, there's the national anthem, there's the Lift Every Voice and Sing. I don't know the actual name for that. I know we call it the Negro Spiritual, but excuse me, or even the Black National Anthem, but Lift Every Voice and Sing, I believe, is the name of the actual song itself. And then I'm also wondering who's going to be singing America the Beautiful. We'll have all that information for you coming up. But I also wanted to run through, you know, one of the things that I heard was some of your Super Bowl snacks may end up being cheaper in the days to come. And that's because PepsiCo just announced a big change with the pricing for Lay's, Doritos, Cheetos, and a couple of other products. So PepsiCo does say that they're planning some price cuts. So next time you go to the grocery store, you could see cheaper prices, which, thinking about it, I think the last time I went grocery shopping, a bag of Doritos party size was anywhere between like $5 to $6, unless I caught a good sale. Sometimes, you know, Publix has those buy one get ones, but you know, that's a lot of money, especially when I know I'm not just talking about myself, especially when you get that bag and you feel like it has more air than it does snacks. I mean, look at it there. Perfect example. But so this is something interesting to me because I know so many of you guys probably have chips and dip on your menus, and so that's something that you can look forward to. But again, it's not just going to be the Lay's, the Doritos, the Cheetos, and the Tostitos chips, but it may also be a couple of their other products as well. Again, PepsiCo did announce that they would be cutting back some of the prices on some of their most popular snacks. They say this is an effort to win back their consumers who are tired of the rising prices. It's me, I'm raising my hand. I'm one of those customers tired of the rising prices. They've leaned on price increases in the last couple of years as the cost of packaging and transportation has grown. Just in this last fourth quarter, PepsiCo hiked prices up 4.5% globally, and their beverages rose 7% here in North America. Prices for the company's snacks also went up about 1%. So the bottom line is this price increasing has been a point of concern, a point of contention for consumers for quite some time, and so finally they are making a difference, and hopefully we will be seeing those prices come down. So again, the list of items that you can expect to see a little cheaper, hopefully in the next couple of trips to the grocery store, will be your Lay's, Doritos, Cheetos, and your Tostitos chips. So there's that on that. Now, I heard that next to the Super Bowl, there's one big celebration that everybody looks forward to, and it's the Puppy Bowl. Adorable little game with some of the most cutest pups just running around trying to score. We also heard that some of those pups will be from Georgia. Our Kim Luffler got to sit down with a representative from this year's Puppy Bowl. I want to listen in to see what you can expect from this game today.
I am joined now by someone who has one of the best jobs on the face of the earth, Mr. Dan Schachner. Dan, thanks so much for joining us. You're heading into your 15th year as the referee for the Puppy Bowl, where Team Ruff and Team Fluff are going to be going head-to-head for the coveted Lombardi Trophy. And I see we have a special guest. Tell us who you have with you.
I can't go anywhere without a dog. And this is Gil. He's from the Saddle Project. It's one of our rescues. And he's repping Team Ruff this year. And we're really excited to tell you all about Puppy Bowl.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit, obviously, as I mentioned, you're going into your 15th year.
Yeah.
So what is something that you look forward to each and every year?
What I look forward to the most is how every dog can surprise me. No two dogs are alike, obviously. They each have their own backgrounds. They each have their own challenges as well. We have 15 special needs dogs, the most amount ever. And then we have dogs that simply, are looking for a home and may have been overlooked for one reason or another. Puppy Bowl has a 100% adoption rate. So all of our dogs do get adopted by the time Puppy Bowl's done airing. But with 150 dogs, that's a record for us this year. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Amazing. That must make you feel so good to know that you just played a small role in these dogs finding their forever home.
100%. And, it's easy. I always say it's easy to get dogs on national TV adopted because they're adorable and whatever. But the rescues that we work with, 72 across the country, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, all report an uptick in adoption inquiries. Like the Saddle Project, they're going to have a bunch of dogs on Puppy Bowl. They're going to report and that's what it is. It's a lasting impact once Puppy Bowl ends.
Amazing. And I understand this year, you guys are also going to be featuring senior dogs as well. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So excited about that. Our halftime show is another bowl. I guess it's a bowl inside of a bowl. And you're going to have a senior exhibition game called the Pro Dog Halftime Game. All senior adoptable dogs playing football as well. It'll be a mini game, maybe 5-10 minutes, not too long, but enough to get people excited and interested. And listen, support our message that all dogs need a home.
As a senior dog mom myself, I can tell you they are the absolute best. Now,
the best.
Any different rules for the senior bowl game here?
They're less toy motivated than the younger ones are. Senior dogs have really seen it all. So, throwing a chew toy to get them going is not the most invigorating thing for them. There's a lot more excessive slumbering penalties being thrown, a lot more loitering penalties, wallflowering. Dogs are taking their time. So we've got a slower game pace overall. The penalties do remain the same, but just, it's a little calmer, more chill, which again could appeal to some families.
For people who have, tuned into the Puppy Bowl each and every year, what can they expect this year? The same kind of energy and excitement that we see each and every year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, again, 150 dogs, but we've got a pre-game kickoff. And during that time, you're going to see a skills test, a combine, if you will, of what it takes to become a Puppy Bowl pup. So you're going to watch the final 10 puppies of our roster get drafted right before game day. It's going to be super exciting. But what I like about the pre-game show is that it shows you all the energy and the skills going into the big game and all the preparation that's involved in getting there. I'm excited because of that, because of the special needs dogs that I've mentioned, and because we have a 100% adoption rate every single year.
Amazing. Looking forward to it. So just remind us when and where we can watch.
Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's February 8th on Animal Planet, on Discovery. It's also going to be on TBS, True TV, and streaming on HBO Max.
Amazing. Well, I'll definitely be tuning in. Dan, thank you so much for taking some time this morning, and we're looking forward to it.
And Bosley's Place is from Atlanta, and they're repped in Puppy Bowl, too. So shout out to them.
There we go.
Thanks,
All
guys.
right. Thanks, Dan.
So speaking of Bosley's Place, actually later on during this show, we are going to have a live interview with some representatives. Again, yes, they are bringing some of their pups to the big Puppy Bowl, the big game. So that's going to be really exciting. I saw somebody in the chat asking again, when does it air? 2 p.m. today, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is. So you guys make sure that you're tuning in there or watching the Super Bowl, whatever tickles your fancy. Still ahead, I want to go back over some of our top news of the day. There are some very serious stories that we still have to get to. We'll be right back. Hey, you guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judea Murray. We have some breaking news to get you on out to. We just heard from officials that a minor, a child, was shot on Roselle Drive. This all taking place in the southeast part of Atlanta. Now, although that child was hit, police are saying they do not believe that minor was the target. That child has been rushed to surgery at Grady Memorial Hospital. We did have a crew on the scene. They brought us the video that you're taking a look at there now. As soon as we know more information about this situation, of course, we will get it out to you. But again, police do say that minor was not the intended target of that shooting. All right, coming back here into studio, we are now in the 10 o'clock hour. I brought Greg Majeski, our meteorologist, back up to the desk. Greg, talk to us a little bit more about this weather we're expecting.
Well, I mean, it's not bad today. We got some sunshine, which is a good thing, and then we've got the Super Bowl going on tonight.
You watch it?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, I don't have a bone in this fight, but I'm gonna watch it. It's just kind of a thing. You know, drink some beer, have some wings.
Yeah,
just go with
wings.
it. But
we'll talk about that
wings,
later.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I believe we got a shot out there in San Francisco, or it's actually San Jose where it's going to be, but it's a little foggy out there on the bay. But they're inland. They're a little bit away. But the weather should not be a factor at all here for tonight. It should be pretty good weather. Temperatures in the 60s and then kind of full in the 50s, so not too bad for the kickoff. And weather across the country are looking pretty quiet right now. Just take a look at the big surface map here across the country. Looking pretty good. Not bad out there, as we've got just some very cold air up in the northeast. They're bitterly cold. Can you believe they had wind chills up there like minus 30?
Yeah.
I mean, no, it was crazy cold up there. The whole northeast has just been absolutely just been.
Are y'all okay?
It's one of the worst.
In the chat, are you
one
okay?
of the worst winters they've had there in 25 years at least up there in the northeast. Most of the Great Lakes are frozen over. I mean, it's been.
Now, I knew about that.
Yeah,
but...
it's been a really rough winter for those guys.
Yikes.
So, but at least we're gonna warm up. That's the big thing here. That's our story.
Sorry for you, but it's great for me.
So anyway, let's bring it on back here close at home again. Radar is clear. I do expect to get some activity on this radar going in toward Wednesday. That's probably our next best chance of rain. The weather pattern's changing, so we're going to see a little bit better opportunities here for rain here over the next week, especially going in from Wednesday and into the weekend. So right now temperatures are warming up from the lows that were down in the 20s for a lot of locations this morning. It lasts up to 41 degrees here at the 10 o'clock hour. Again, we should warm up. Temperatures will be fairly seasonable today, well into the 50s for everybody this afternoon. Winds that were a problem yesterday, no, they're light this morning. Really not a problem here today. So that's a good thing to see there as well. Now, as we take a look at our hour-by-hour forecast map, we got that high pressure down into the south, so we got a little weak system that's going to come in here. Monday's all right. Monday will be all right. We'll have some clouds around. Tuesday's looking okay, but that Wednesday might see a few showers move on through. And then we'll look at get a little bit of a break, and then we get another system going into Friday and Saturday. Big question will be on the track, models all over the place for this weekend storm system. So we'll continue to watch to see what happens with that going into the next weekend. But today's highs, seasonable, 50s, not bad out there. Sunshine, good day. If you didn't get the car wash yesterday, which I was busy as all get out from what I saw near my house, but because of the wind, today will be a good day to do it. Temperatures well in the 50s. And then going for tomorrow, they'll be even warmer. We're going into the 60s, although a little bit cooler still up there in the northeast areas up toward Gainesville and Blairsville. With 64 in Atlanta, that's pretty good. All right, here we go. The next 7 days here as we're going to get going here. And yeah, I got 71 there on Tuesday. Probably the warmest day of the week, but then we kind of slowly back it down as we go toward the weekend. And rain chances, again, right now looking at Wednesday and probably Saturday is the two best days for rain right now.
Okay, looking good ahead for the rest of this week.
You notice we don't have any freezing temperatures though in there for morning lows. So, yeah, we get a little bit.
We get a break.
So we get a break this week. Yeah, absolutely.
Especially you meteorologists, you guys have been working overtime every single weekend.
Yesterday, the European was trying to hit at another snowstorm, and on the 15th, it's not there today, but it was hitting. And I was going, no, can't happen. I said that's my first weekend off since before Christmas, and the wife and I have got tickets to go to see Heart up in Duluth on Sunday night. So, you know, and it was interesting when I was getting those tickets. It was Valentine's Day weekend, and I was like, man, these tickets are a little more expensive than I would have thought. And I was like, oh, duh, Valentine's Day weekend, Heart, of course.
Speaking of Valentine's Day, you guys weigh in. How are you celebrating? Are you celebrating? Do you believe in Valentine's Day?
Of course.
You know, some people, they celebrate singles.
If you want to stay married, you better believe in Valentine's Day. Been married almost 30 years.
I agree 100%. I'll get there one day, but 100% definitely agree in definitely believe in Valentine's Day. Okay, you mentioned wings may be on your menu.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
What kind of wings are we talking about here?
I like the mild. I'm not very either. I don't like really hot stuff.
Okay.
Now my wife likes the hotter wings. I don't.
Me too. I love hot wings. The hotter the better. If it makes me cry, that's perfect.
It's like, oh, you crying? The game hasn't even started yet.
It's the wings, babe. It's the wings. Have you ever tried lemon pepper?
Yeah, those are good. Those are okay. Lemon pepper's fine.
All right, I had to ask. Apparently, it's a big Atlanta thing, so I had to ask if you've tried it before.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, the news does continue. Greg, thank you so much for giving us a look at our forecast. We'll be checking back in with you a little later on. I do want to get you back out to Ruzel Drive here in Atlanta. We just had that breaking news where we did learn a child, a minor, was shot. According to Atlanta police, they were called to the scene, the 100 block of Ruzel Drive out in southeast Atlanta. That young person, they have not told us the age, which is why I keep saying minor. I'm not quite sure if they are under the age of 13 or whether they're under the age of 18, which would still make them a minor. But we do know they were taken to the hospital in critical condition. They had to undergo surgery at Grady Memorial Hospital and may still be under the knife at this point in time. According to the Atlanta police, they say that minor was not the intended target of that shooting. It's not believed to have been a targeted shooting. It is believed to have been a targeted shooting. It's just not believed that that child was the target. So that's the latest information that we have there on that. And hopefully we will be sending a reporter out to check that scene out. But if not, as soon as the Atlanta police gives us more updates, more information, of course, I will be getting that right out to you all. All right, also want to talk to you about, while we're talking about shootings, this hours-long cat's got my tongue. This hours-long SWAT standoff in Atlanta that we know ended in an arrest. So you probably heard about it. This all taking place on Cheshire Bridge Road, which actually isn't that far from where we are now. The Helios apartment complex is believed to be that location where all of this really happened. We saw so many officers return to the scene, getting out there, trying to find as much information as they can, and then eventually we saw SWAT roll in. And in that video there, you could actually see someone loaded into the back of a patrol car taken away from the scene. Later on, we learned that that was the suspect in this case. I want to see if we can get right out to the desk. I brought up Caitlin Pratt, our reporter. You were live on the scene when all this was unfolding. Can you just walk us through a little bit about what you were seeing, what you were hearing?
For sure. I mean, anytime you hear about a shooting in a populated place, and we heard that it was possibly a police shooting, officers involved, you go and then you see what you see and then you gather the information from there. But yeah, there was a sense of urgency 100% as we headed from the station to that site that ended up being a staging ground and the scene of an hours-long barricade situation. Yeah, the urgency evident with the sirens, speeding vehicles from multiple jurisdictions, not just Atlanta police, but also MARTA police. MARTA, of course, the Lindbergh station right nearby, so they were readily available to respond. And then also, too, you had ambulances, you had fire department on standby, just in case. It was an all-hands-on-deck situation, so that's what we encountered when we first arrived there on the scene. It's about 10 minutes from our station, so we were there pretty fast, and it was already building as far as the response from a police perspective. Now, what was it, right after 9 o'clock yesterday? So this had been going on for about an hour. We know from police now that they arrived there at that apartment complex, Helios complex on Cheshire Bridge Road, right after 7:30 or so, and that's when they encountered the suspect, who's been identified as Alante Ray. He apparently was in one of the bedrooms that the property manager let them into apartment unit. People had heard gunfire, called police. That's why they were there in the first place. And yeah, he started shooting, according to investigators. 2 of the officers responding were injured as a result of that encounter. One grazed in the head. Okay, he's okay. And the other, some sort of a laceration, shrapnel wounds, not sure what that was from. We have learned, though, in the past hour that this suspect, Alante Ray, is facing some serious charges. Apparently he's from Stone Mountain. He is facing most most seriously, aggravated assault against a law enforcement officer, and also possession of a firearm during commission of a crime. So this was about 4 hours, and you're standing out there, you're waiting for information, you're reaching out to your police sources. They have a public information officer who is pretty solid as far as getting that information across to reporters, not just us, but other stations in the metro area. And then, of course, you had a team of reporters, photographers trying to get information, trying to get those viewer voices. And we did catch up with one fella who was right across the hall.
Yeah.
That was wild, right?
You were the one who got that interview.
Yes,
as well, right?
yes. And he was very calm. And I said, "Sir, what?" And he said, "I don't think it's really sunk in yet." But he woke up to the sound of commotion in the hallway, peeked outside, and police said, "Get back in there." And he went back in there. Has a doorbell camera, so he was able to actually hear and see what happened after that. His girlfriend there with him said she saw an officer involved in the encounter stumble back a bit, presumably responding to that gunfire. And from there, everyone in the building, in the complex, was evacuated, and they did roll up a MARTA bus to keep them warm if they wanted to stay near the staging center. And from there, though, he was watching his surveillance footage to see what was going on. They kept knocking on the door, trying to connect with the person inside. Again, the suspect, Mr. Ray, eventually taken him into custody. He was taken to the hospital after that, and is now in the Fulton County jail facing those very serious charges. And we've been talking a little bit about the behind-the-scenes stuff. Yes. So just so you know, our assignment desk, Sasha, she reached out to police trying to get a mugshot, so you can put a face with the name of this suspect who, put quite a scare into so many people yesterday in Cheshire Bridge neighborhood.
I just think they're lucky it was just the graze and laceration, but the graze of the bullet by his head, like that could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
And I mean, hearing all the details come in, trying to make sense of it, knowing that this is something happening so close, and yet we can't get the information in immediately, it was just kind of, I don't want to say scary because, you know, it's this part of our job, but kind of nerve-wracking.
Well, I think all of you can agree watching this, anytime something happens right outside your door, right, your community, it kind of hits you a little bit more, and that's literally right down the street, so that's why we were like, whoa. Yeah. A lot of people leaving work for the day here, we're headed home, and ran right into where we were, so got to see the traffic impact, the street shut down. So yeah, there was more of a personal resonance as far as this situation is concerned, for sure. I will say that at that press conference yesterday, police leaders, they said their training helped them in this situation. As soon as those bullets started flying, they say they retreated. They called in the SWAT team, the professionals who know, you know, the negotiators, things of that nature. So it was almost like that's what they're trained to do. So they scaled back, they established that perimeter to get the public away, and went to work as far as the negotiations and getting this person into custody, and that's what happened. It did take some time. But at the end of the day, everyone else ended up okay, uninjured, safe, and they were so lucky, the department, that these two officers were just minimally hurt.
Yeah. 100%, but we actually do have that press conference. If you guys would like to listen to it, we can all listen into it together.
Okay, so good afternoon. I'm Major Pete Malecki with the Atlanta Police Department. Behind me, I have our homicide commander, Lieutenant Christopher Butler, and to my left, I have the Assistant Major Crimes Commander, Captain Jermaine Dearlove. So first of all, I want to thank everyone here, the community, for their patience as we worked through this difficult situation this morning. So around 7:30 this morning, our officers did respond to a 911 call for shots fired. That was at 2470 Cheshire Bridge. When officers arrived out there, they did notice indications of gunfire coming from a specific apartment. The officers went to clear that apartment. When they made entry into one of the back bedrooms, they were immediately met by gunfire from an individual who was barricaded in the apartment. Throughout that gunfire, we did have 2 officers sustain injuries. One suffered shrapnel injuries to his arm, and the other one suffered a gunshot wound to the head. Thankfully, it was a graze wound, so both of our officers are okay. They were checked out at Grady and subsequently cleared. The officers were able to pull back, establish a crime scene, a perimeter, which time we did call in our SWAT team, as you guys saw the heavy police activity in the area. And just moments ago, our SWAT team was able to successfully take that suspect into custody without any further injuries. So we're extremely grateful that no one in the community was injured and that we were able to take this guy into custody without incident. We did have 5 officers at that initial onset of gunfire that discharged their firearms. The suspect was not hit by gunfire, so we have requested the GBI to come in and assist us in leading the investigation. So I'm sure there's a lot of questions. We do not have that individual identified yet. I do not know what his relationship is yet to that apartment, whether he lived there, was a guest, or whatever. So we're just not sure. Now that the scene is safe, we'll begin to focus on the investigative process and get some of the answers to those questions.
This sounds like it was so close to being so much worse.
In that unit during that time of those shots fired. Are you guys finding out that there was a person in there at all when it happened?
So as of right now, the apartment has been cleared. We did not find any other individuals inside.
You had an officer grazed on the head, another shot. I mean, this is so close to being a real tragedy out here today, especially thinking about what's happening up north in Gwinnett County today.
I mean, we're extremely fortunate. I think when you have a situation like this, thankfully our training is on point. The officers are very well trained, and we're very fortunate that it didn't end in a tragedy today.
And talk about that pulling back, because you do the initial call, responding to an emergency, then you realize you have to pull back and bring in a different kind of a response.
Absolutely, and again, that's what we're trained for. That's why the officers undergo the training that they have. That's why we have a new public safety training center to provide top-notch training to our officers. And it's not just for the officers, but really it allows the best outcome for the community and keeping everyone safe. So again, very fortunate.
Bridget over here. Bridget, was there like any negotiations or anything deployed to get him?
Absolutely, yeah. We did try to negotiate. Unfortunately, he would not come out, and that's what led to the lengthy standoff that took place.
You understand that there's other officers on that floor as well. Do you understand that if any of those officers that were shot lived by this individual?
So that, again, I don't know that yet. That's all part of the investigation that we have to really dig into at this point.
And that man that just drove by in the back of that car, was that the individual?
It is, yes. Yep.
Let's make it clear that CBS has nothing to do with it. They just allowed us to use them.
Correct. Yep.
The suspect, was he armed with a long gun, handgun?
We still got to determine that. Now that the scene is safe, once the GBI arrives on scene, we'll go in and begin processing that for evidence, and we'll hopefully have an answer to that shortly.
And that initial call, was that from someone in the apartment, someone in the apartment complex? How did you all end up out here?
Yeah, the 911 call came from the apartment complex. Yep.
Take us through what it went. Take us through what it went to get to this point. I mean, we saw people behind the apartment, in the apartment, bring video of it happening. I mean, take us through that.
Yeah. So again, once the initial incident took place, the officers followed their training. They pulled back, set up a perimeter, and that's to ensure that no one else is in danger going into the crime scene, and that, of course, that the suspect is unable to flee out and pose a danger to the community.
It's called widespread traffic problems and stuff. When was the last time you recall this big of a daily disruption?
Again, it certainly does cause a disruption, but safety to everyone is paramount, and so we will do what we need to do, obviously, to keep everyone safe. So I can't think of another time recently, but again, we do everything we can to expedite it while keeping everyone safe.
All right, thank you everyone for any.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, so you guys were listening there to that press conference quickly after we had learned more information about that shooting on Cheshire Bridge Road. And of course, trying to bring you that live coverage in real time when it all happened. Now, remember I was telling you about that child who was shot in Atlanta. They were still learning more information about this. I actually just heard from our assignment desk that we are expecting to see a press conference from police giving us more information about this case any minute now. So when that happens, we're hoping we'll have a live crew on the scene and be able to bring you that press conference. Again, as we're just trying to learn more information. What I do have right now, let's run through the details together. A child, a minor, believed to have been shot in the 100 block of Ruzel Drive. The other thing I know is that victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. That child is expected to be in surgery, may still be undergoing surgery as we speak. They do believe that this was a targeted shooting, but that child was not the intended target. And so we haven't heard from family, friends, anybody just yet. We have only heard this little information from the Atlanta Police Department. And again, as soon as I know something more, you will be the first to know. That's the way that we work here on this interactive live news conversation. All right. Still ahead, we need to talk to a little bit more about some other stories of the day. So in addition to this child who we know has been shot, there was a teenager who lost his life, and his family actually witnessed it happen. I'll tell you the details about that grim story when we come back. Hey you guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Janae Murray. We got to dive into some of the top news of the day. We're learning more about this family who say they witnessed their 17-year-old shot to death by a stray bullet. This all happening while they were staying together in a motel. So here's what we know about this situation. It is limited, but you guys may be able to work your way through this story. So let's try it together. Family, they live in Gwinnett County. They were staying in an extended stay motel. They said that they've been experiencing some financial hardship, going through a hard time. And while sleeping, they were in the bedroom. Sheldon Lewis, who's only 17 years old, was shot by a stray bullet that came through their shared wall that they had with their neighbor next door. So this occurred at around 11 p.m. on Thursday at the Live in Lodge extended stay on Stone Mountain Highway. That's according to authorities. You see him there on your screen. Lewis, he was only in the 11th grade. He studied at Parkview High School. They say that he was in the family's room. Some people were laying down. He was playing video games when a bullet traveled through the shared wall that they had with their neighboring unit. So Gwinnett County Police have announced an arrest. They took into custody Shamarcus Cochran. He's 31 years old. You're looking at at his mug shot on your screen right there. He had been staying in the room right next to the Lewis family. Officers said Cochran told them that he had recently returned from a gun range. He was cleaning his firearm, and then he says it accidentally discharged. He says he did not mean to fire that shot, but that bullet, it still did go out. It passed through the wall, and it struck 17-year-old Sheldon, who died at the scene. So Cochran there on your screen, he's been charged with involuntary manslaughter and reckless misconduct. The Lewis family, again, they said that they were staying at that extended stay motel due to some financial hardships. Unfortunately, they were all there and witnessed the shooting. And we actually got to speak to Sheldon's sister, who was understandably very emotional, but she kind of walks us through what it was like in that moment when it happened. Let's listen in.
We were all there to witness it, which makes it more traumatic than it seems. Like a phone call would have been easier to process, but actually witnessing it and him taking his last breaths was hard to see.
Maya is the sister who was just talking, who you just listened to there. She says that she wants people to remember her brother as someone who was passionate. He was a very passionate young man who loved learning new things, and she says he aspired to become a chef one day. You take a look there at just how serious he was about his business. Unfortunately, they're not going to get to see that particular dream come to fruition, but they are asking anybody who may have it in their heart, if you'd like to give anything. They do have a GoFundMe. We have information on that on our website. They're hoping that any money earned can help them put together a funeral to put this young man to rest. All right, still ahead, I want to talk to you guys about some new sports news that we have just gotten in, starting with the unfortunate death of an Atlanta Braves player. He was only 34 years old. You're taking a look at him right there on your screen. He was a 3-time World Series champion known as Tarance Gore. He played for a couple of different teams, but of course the most important one is the Atlanta Braves. But we do know that Gore was also a member of the Royals. They won the American League Championship Series in 2014 and 2015, and a part of the World Series winning team in 2015. The Kansas City Royals are the ones who announced his death just yesterday. He was a unique player in Major League Baseball. He not only played for them, he also played for, again, us. He played for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's actually from Macon, Georgia, so we know that that's a community that will definitely be missing him at this point in time. We also know that he was survived by his wife, Brittany. They also shared 3 children together, so my heart and prayers go out to that family. We're also keeping up to date with Atlanta Falcons rookie who was arrested after an alleged domestic dispute, and his partner, you may know her name very well, she's WNBA star Rickea Jackson. So Atlanta police, or excuse me, this was out in Miami where he was arrested on Saturday night. Miami police say that he was fleeing officers, he crashed his car, and had been involved in some sort of domestic dispute with WNBA player Rickea Jackson. Pierce is the first-round pick who has led the Falcons in sacks. He's also 3rd in NFL Defense Rookie of the Year voting. He was booked into the Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center after police say they investigated that reported domestic dispute between him and Ms. Jackson. The Atlanta Falcons released their own statement. They did say they are aware of this incident, and I quote, "We are aware of an incident involving James Pierce Jr. in Miami. We are in the process of gathering more information and will not have any further comment on an open legal matter at this point in time." So as soon as we do have more information, we will try to get that out to you. But that's the latest that we have there on that Falcons rookie who is facing some jail time and potentially some charges for an alleged dispute, a domestic dispute with another woman. We also have some information on a former Jets player who was charged in his girlfriend's murder. Want to get you the latest here on this. You're taking a look at him there on your screen. His name is Darren Lee. He was charged in his girlfriend's death, and according to police, will maybe facing some murder charges. He's only 31 years old. He was arrested by the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office on Thursday, and he was charged with first-degree murder, tampering with or fabricating evidence, according to some online records. He's currently being being held without bond and is expected to make his appearance in court on Wednesday. So ESPN reported that deputies were dispatched to a home with reports of CPR in progress just on Thursday afternoon. And once they got to the scene there, first responders tried to perform life-saving measures on the girlfriend, but she was later declared dead. Sheriff's Department later ruled her death a homicide. So again, that is the latest that we have there on that. We'll try to bring you some more information if we can in the future. But you guys, still ahead, I'm taking a look at my plan here. We have a couple of more things cooking for you. Remember, the Super Bowl is tonight. One of our reporters from Fox News is actually live at the stadium bringing us some more information. We'll be checking in with Ashley in just a minute. Welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. The big question for you guys, are you watching the Super Bowl tonight? I absolutely am, and I know somebody else who will be as well. I want to get right out to our reporter, Ashley Dvorkin, who is live from us all the way from California. Ashley, I mean, it's been big here in Atlanta. I can only imagine what it's like out there at the stadium.
Yes, it has been so exciting in all the days leading up to today. Super Bowl Sunday with the Seahawks and the Patriots ready to take the field now. As soon as we got here, we were in San Francisco because there are parties, experiences, red carpets all throughout the Bay Area. There's interactions, there's exhibits. We were checking some of that out the first day. Red carpets are rolled out. Celebrities are here. I saw John Hamm at a lot of things. He hosted the NFL Honors. Cardi B has also been out, a little performances, and she has been rumored as a potential guest for the halftime show with Bad Bunny. We will see. So yes, there's a lot leading. And even today, Teddy Swims, he's going to be performing at a tailgate party that is right here at Levi's Stadium. Guy Fieri has a great food set up as a tailgate party. So the parties all continue right up until that 3:30 local kickoff. Judea.
Okay, that's going to be really exciting for us. And I mean, let's build on that. I imagine that everybody getting out there, they're ready to have a good time. You mentioned, you teased potentially some of the performers there. Fingers crossed for Cardi B. But have you heard a little bit more about who's doing the national anthem, America the Beautiful, all of those songs?
Yes, so we have Coco Jones, Lift Every Voice and Sing, America the Beautiful, Brandy Carlisle, and the national anthem, Charlie Puth. He was talking about how musically difficult it is as a song and how he was a little bit nervous. They all were talking about how they're honored to be doing these performances, to have these moments and to soak up these moments today at the game. Judea?
That's going to be exciting too. I'm glad again that you mentioned Cardi B, because a lot of things, that's one thing, excuse me, that's been buzzing around social media is whether or not the halftime performance is going to turn into like a big Latin expression of culture. And so, I mean, you did say you heard her performing. Have we heard anything else about what we could potentially see from the halftime performance?
Yes, well, she was at some parties and, you know, of course, sang a little bit. And so everybody's thinking, okay, she's here. She's here in town. She's just in the area. But she is one of the names when people are wondering if Bad Bunny might bring out some guests to join him. He wanted to keep it a surprise. They have a press conference leading up to the big show. And he said he wanted to keep that part a surprise. But what he does promise is a dance party for everyone. He said, practice those dance moves. So I really can't wait. I have been practicing, and I will be in there in Levi's Stadium to watch him. I'm very excited. Judea?
I mean, Ashley, speaking of practicing, I told our audience that I downloaded Duolingo. I was getting on my Spanish game because I will 100% be singing word for word when he starts performing. Let me ask you this. I do see
fantastic. Yes.
So much fog. We were talking to our meteorologist too about what to expect. Apparently the weather will be nice, but right now it is foggy. Will that impact anything at the stadium?
I really don't think so. Everybody has been here for days. They can't wait for this moment. Yes, I think that there's going to be the tailgates are going to get a great turnout, and I think that everybody has just been waiting for this day. And like I said, the party continues right up until the minute of kickoff.
All right, big question for you here. It's going to be the question that I ask everybody once they start trickling into the newsroom. Who are you rooting for? Do you have a prediction of who might win?
Well, I have to tell you that as we're out here, we're right next to our friends at Fox Seattle. So I will say the Seahawks, but I will also tell you this story that my 8-year-old nephew, who is the biggest football fan, I asked him who I should be rooting for, and he said he has never seen anyone get more points in the playoffs than the Seahawks have. And he then listed the scores. He said 31 and 41. So the kid knows his stuff. I think I'm going to go with the Seahawks. What about you?
He's really good at this.
Eight, I know. But yes, but I was like, who do I ask? And I called him right up.
You asked me who
I think so. Yes, that's what we think.
You asked me who did I want to see, and of course, I would have loved to have said the Atlanta Falcons, but they're not in the game, and I don't know when we could see them in the Super Bowl next. But I guess the Seahawks. I gotta say the Seahawks.
There you go. All right.
Ashley,
we'll see.
We'll
talk tomorrow.
So much fun.
Yeah,
we'll see what actually happens. I'm looking forward to my Super Bowl party tonight, and I'm assuming you're going to get out there and enjoy yourself as well.
I will. Absolutely. Yes. Have fun. Enjoy the party.
All right. Ashley, we'll talk to you later. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 5 News Live all the way from Atlanta. Yeah, we got a pretty big reach out here for you guys as we're trying to continue up to date, keeping ourselves up to date on what's happening with the Super Bowl. All right. Coming back here to me in studio, some of the other things that I wanted to make sure that we are all aware of, up to date on. Did you know ICE is expected to make their presence known at the Super Bowl as well? So not only are there plans for, you know, a bunch of people to get out there and watch. Of course, we do know that Bad Bunny is hosting the halftime performance, but we have also heard from the Department of Homeland Security that ICE is expected to make its way out to the big game. Not quite sure if they are looking for anybody in particular or if they're just going to be patrolling, but that is the word on the street. Now, Fox News has a new article that you may be interested in seeing. You know, Green Day is expected to host or perform during some pre-game celebrations. Well, one member of Green Day actually said that he wants ICE agents to, honestly, it's the words he used are a little vulgar. So I'll try to talk around what he said while still getting you that information. So we know that a lot of people are concerned about Bad Bunny's presence at the halftime performance. Then we also know that a lot of people are concerned about ICE agents being in the stadium. But apparently, maybe they don't need to be worried about Bad Bunny, because Green Day, they've had their fair share of things to say as well about ICE attending. So, you know, Billy Joe Armstrong, I mean, everybody does. He said there was a statement that he made that Fox News picked up. He says, and I quote, "To all the ICE agents out there, wherever you are, quit your," insert some words here, "quit that job you have." Again, he said this during his pregame show. And he continued on to say, because when this is over, and it will be over at some point in time, Kristi Noem, Stephen Miller, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, they're going to drop you like a bad habit. Come on this side of the line. So very strong words out there. He also dedicated his performance on Friday to Minneapolis. We know that there have been so many protests out there. A lot of people have been hitting the streets protesting ICE, especially after we heard of the shooting death of Renee Good, Alex Preddy, the nurse who was shot and killed by ICE agents. He also changed the lyrics of Holiday from the representative of California has the floor to the representative from Epstein Island has the floor. So again, some fighting words there. There's a full article on Fox News website in case you are interested in reading a little bit more about what he said and everything that has to do with that. Well, in addition to the Super Bowl, maybe you have no interest in watching that, but maybe you want to see some furry friends have a time of their life on this same day. We know the Puppy Bowl will be happening as well. I believe it starts at 2 p.m., so not too much longer from here. We also know that some Georgia puppies may be making an appearance. I want to kick things off to Kim Loeffler, one of our reporters, who actually got an interview with a representative from the Puppy Bowl, and I want to let you guys listen into what they have planned for this year.
I am joined now by someone who has one of the best jobs on the face of the earth, Mr. Dan Schachner. Dan, thanks so much for joining us. You're heading into your 15th year as the referee for the Puppy Bowl, where Team Ruff and Team Fluff are going to be going head-to-head for the coveted Lombardi Trophy. And I see we have a special guest. Tell us who you have with you.
I can't go anywhere without a dog. And this is Gil. He's from the Sato Project. It's one of our rescues. And he's repping Team Ruff this year. And we're really excited to tell you all about Puppy Bowl.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit, obviously, as I mentioned, you're going into your 15th year.
Yeah.
So what is something that you look forward to each and every year?
What I look forward to the most is how every dog can surprise me. No two dogs are alike, obviously. They each have their own backgrounds. They each have their own challenges as well. We have 15 special needs dogs, the most amount ever. And then we have dogs that simply, are looking for a home and may have been overlooked for one reason or another. Puppy Bowl has a 100% adoption rate. So all of our dogs do get adopted by the time Puppy Bowl is done airing. But with 150 dogs, that's a record for us this year. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Amazing. That must make you feel so.
All right, guys, I'm so sorry. We have to cut in over that interview because we know right now there's a press conference addressing that child who was shot in Atlanta. Let's see if we can listen in together.
We were able to transport that child to Grady, where he went. He's currently under surgery right now. This does appear to be, based on our preliminary investigation, a targeted incident based on two individuals that had an escalating dispute. We do encourage our followers and our listeners to call Crime Stoppers if they are familiar with this incident. Right now, we are looking for a total of 3 suspects, and a silver sedan is what we've been told on the scene. So again, if anybody is aware of any incidents that they know of these particular suspects or this particular vehicle that we're looking for, we encourage them to call Crime Stoppers.
Questions? We'll start right here behind me with Brian.
And they shot at the house from the outside. It did not occur inside.
They did shoot from the house. Based on our preliminary investigation, it does appear that those 3 individuals got out of that silver sedan and walked up to that house and shot from the outside into the home.
going to go to my left.
Do we have a license plate number for that?
Right now, we don't have a license plate number. This is still an active investigation, and we are looking for that particular tag and the make and model of that vehicle.
And was the child a girl or a boy, do we know?
It is a male child.
Channel 11.
Do we know where they targeted when they shot? Did it go to their bedroom, the child's bedroom, or living room, kitchen?
The suspects, the individuals, when they got out of the vehicle, they shot at the house. And so it appears that the house sustained several, and more than several, amounts of damage to the home, but it was all over the home.
Ray, it's Ray's turn, Ray.
Hey, do we know what type of munitions were used? Was this like an assault rifle, semi-automatic rifle? Do we know that yet?
But the amount of rounds that we did count, it appears to be a semi-automatic type style weapon. Right now, again, under investigation, we don't have all of that right now.
Back to Brian.
Do you know where the child was in the house?
Right now, that's still under investigation. So as we get more information, we'll be able to let you know at a later time.
How many people were in the house?
A total of 5. We do know, and what's most alarming is that there were 4 children under the age of 10 years old in the home. Yes.
Are any parents facing any charges or in custody this morning?
Not right now. Again, this does appear to be an escalating dispute between parties. And this looks like, again, they came to target that particular home. And it's, again, unfortunate that the kids were in the home. 4 kids under the age of 10 were in the home.
CBS Atlanta.
Was there, I'm sorry if you said, was there anybody else hit or just that child?
Just a child.
11.
So we just can't confirm any relationship between the people inside the home and these 3 suspects, if they knew each other?
No, not right now. Still ongoing investigation. Yes.
Ray, last question.
Yeah. So you all transported the child to Grady. Is there any reason why you all transported it instead of via ambulance?
Yes, we realized that time was of the essence, and the officers did a phenomenal job of trying to save this child's life. And so, again, with the assistance of fire, the officer thought it was best that we go ahead and transport that child to save his life. And right now, that child is stabilized, and so we're happy to report that.
Thank you, everyone, for updates. Just visit the website, atlantapd.org. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Chief.
Thank you.
Wow, so you guys, we just learned a lot of information actually in that very brief press conference. I do want to go back over some of the details that I had and then add in some of the details that we just learned there with you all, so bear with me as I try to get my thoughts together. So we heard that there was a shooting out in the 100 block of Roselle Drive, southeast Atlanta. That is where the police are right now. Atlanta police are the ones who led this press conference. Since I know you guys kept asking, where is this happening? It is Roselle Drive in Atlanta. Okay, so in addition to that, we heard that 4 children under the age of 10 years old were at this home where this gunfire erupted. So Atlanta police believe they are looking for 3 suspects who allegedly walked up to this home, opened fire. To them, they say this was a targeted shooting, but that child was not the target of their shooting. Unfortunately, that child was hit. The child was in critical condition and had to be rushed to the hospital for surgery. Now, you heard there at the end, our reporter Ray Llerena actually took over the press conference and asked the question, why did you all transport the child to the hospital rather than waiting for an ambulance? This is some details. We didn't have that here in the newsroom, so this is news to us. The Atlanta police say that they took the child in their own vehicle to the hospital because they heard that time was of the essence, so that lets us know just how serious those injuries that the child must have sustained were, that they did not wait for an ambulance or EMTs to get to the child. They then took the child themselves. So that was interesting information that we have gotten there. We're still waiting to learn even more from that. I can tell you that Atlanta police will probably be putting out a news release soon, so we'll be checking their website. We'll also be checking their social media accounts, especially Facebook, to see what else we can learn about this situation. We had some video that was shot from that scene a little earlier. I want to get that out to you as well. One of our photographers rushed out to the scene as soon as he heard that there was a potential shooting involving a child in the area. Now, what we know about that child so far is only that it was a little boy and that he was under the age of 10. Police do say again that they believe 4 children under the age of 10 were in the home at the time that this shooting happened. So this is really scary now that you think about the fact that it could have been anybody in that home who was hit. Very unfortunate that this young child, this minor, ended up being hit during this and having to undergo surgery. Probably a very traumatic experience for everybody involved. So that's the latest that we have there on that. We need to take a step back, but when we are back, I want to let you know that happening right now on the Beltline, there is some sort of art exhibit, if you can call it, that represents Iran. One of our photojournalists, Eli Jordan, is out there to cover it. We will be checking in with him when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I have some breaking news to get you out to. We now have the mugshot of the man believed to have been the cause of an hours-long standoff in Atlanta on Cheshire Bridge Road. Of course, we do know that that SWAT standoff ended with an arrest. So you're taking a look now at Alante Ray. He was arrested, according to police records. He's from Stone Mountain. He's been charged with aggravated assault against law enforcement officers when engaged on official duty and criminal damage to property in the first degree. We also see a charge here for possession of firearm or knife during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies. So again, you're taking a look at them there on your screen. His name is Alante Ray, and we have just gotten his mugshot into the newsroom, so I wanted to get that right out to you all. Now, happening right now on Atlanta's Beltline, we know that that's a place where there tends to be a lot of beautiful art. A lot of people come by to get some drinking in, some food with friends. But right now, there's an art exhibit that I understand is highlighting Iran's crisis. I want to get right out to our photojournalist, Eli Jordan, who's been talking to the people there. Eli, can you talk to me a little bit more about what this all is about?
Hey, good morning, Judea. Yeah, I'm out here on the Beltline, close to the Kroger on the east side, and right behind Ponce City Market. And you know, there are pictures, photos of the victims who have died during the latest Iranian uprising. And there's a lot out here, and it ranges from a lot of range of age, from in the 40s and 50s all the way to I've seen a 14-year-old. But since 1978, the Iranian population has been having to deal with, they had the revolution in '79 where they overthrew the Shah, and even though the Shah wasn't the best person in the world, but the Ayatollah came along and really developed an oppressive regime, a religious regime, and it's been really rough for Iranians. They used to be, a westernized type of country where they experienced lots of freedoms, and this is where these people, they have lived their entire lives under this oppressive current regime since 1979. And right now I'm with Shore.
Hi.
Mifrin Dureskri.
Oh, good.
Shore, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for being here.
Tell me, what do you guys have going on out here?
Well, we're here in solidarity with the Iranian people. As you know, and you mentioned, in the past 47 years, there have been many, many uprisings. First, it was just more about economy and everything. But as it got worse and worse, the situation in Iran, people became more demanding about the rights. And this most recent one, as you see the pictures here, young people, 14, 15, 30, they all died because they were protesting on the streets peacefully. But the regime keeps doing the same thing, and unfortunately the Western countries are hoping that it would change its behavior, which it wouldn't. And they kill them because they are protesting and demanding their basic rights. Unfortunately, the regime has found its stability on violation of human rights, torturing. These are the ones that are fallen, but there were so many thousands, tens of thousands that have been arrested, and we are so worried about them because that means torture, that means forced confession, that means disappearance. This regime has done it all.
And let me ask you this, Shore. You lived in Iran before the revolution, correct?
Yes.
What was Iran like then?
Well, when Shah was in power, he tried to have a westernized makeup on the regime, and you have to compare the Shah's time with this regime to say that that was a good time. But politically speaking, no. It was very close. It was one party, one ruler, and everything that he wanted had to go. And he actually came on camera and said, if you don't like it, get your passport and leave. So we didn't have the freedom of parties, the freedom of speech. There were people that were arrested because they had a book that was they were not supposed to have, or many of our artists, poets, filmmakers, they all were arrested because what they were saying was not, in favor of the regime of the Shah. But
how does it compare to the Ayatollah in this regime?
Well, let's say in comparison, you can say he killed 10 people, this one killed 1,000, and if you compare it that way, you may say Shah was better, but nevertheless, he killed 10 people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So well, I'll tell you what, we're going to be out here for a little while, Shore, and thank you very much for speaking to me now. We're going to be out here for a while, and you guys are going to be out here.
Yes.
And Judea, this is what's going on right now, bringing awareness to our local community about what's going on in Iran, and we need, put our support behind the people who are striving and giving their lives up for, the basic freedoms that we enjoy here and probably take for granted. I mean, a 15-year-old. I mean, he is fighting, in the streets, protesting. He's passed away. He's dead. And so, we need to be more aware of what's going on in Iran, and hopefully things can change over there for these people and honor these people who have passed protesting for freedom. Judea?
Eli, this has been really important for us to see as well, knowing that recently there was that media blackout where for quite some time we really had no eyes on the ground, at least no live eyes. We would have to talk to reporters who were on the ground afterwards who found a safe place to get us that information. So it's nice to see people out here in our community, whether it is showing up for an art exhibit or just trying to make sure that they're letting us know the names of the people who are losing their lives as the protests do continue out in Iran. Yes, Eli said that we will be out there all morning long, and we sure will. Eli, we'll be checking in with you in just a little bit. You guys still ahead. ahead. I want to talk to you about more of the hyper-local news headlines, what's happening right here on the grounds here in Atlanta. We have more news when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Janae Murray. I've got Greg Majeski, our meteorologist, back up here with us. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, for a gorgeous day here in Georgia.
I want to kind of get some sunshine. It looks good out there.
Absolutely. I mean, speaking of the sunshine, we got a camera up at Lake Lanier.
Yeah, a gorgeous shot up here. I was noticing up there, up near Margaritaville up there at the little restaurant there. Everybody's been up there a few times. I've eaten there before. It's gorgeous. I couldn't help but notice just how flat the water looks.
I know. I mean, you see just a little bit of the ripples, just a little bit.
Yeah, it's good to go to the lake. It's a little, I mean, not hot or warm, but it's definitely not.
Oh, you won't catch me out there on the water.
No,
I'll look at it.
No, it looks fine to me. Yeah, the radar right now is completely clear. We got a clear sweep here across the area, so no rain in our area. We're not expecting any real precipitation to get into our area, probably till about Wednesday, real significance, but we're going to stay on the dry side here for today. So that's the good news there. And temperatures are warming up nicely out there. We're currently at 46 degrees at the 11 o'clock hour. So temperatures today, you notice the winds are kind of coming around from the east to southeasterly direction there a little bit. So we're going to see things warm up today, generally into the 50s, where they're supposed to be. You know, normal high 56, 57 right about now. So things are not looking too bad. And the winds, as we showed you, not a story yesterday. They were gusting. They were 15, 20, 25 mile per hour today. Nope, very comfortable out there. Not bad at all for this afternoon. So we got high pressure in control. If you got anything to do today, go ahead and do it. May have a few clouds this afternoon. Otherwise, looking pretty good. Get outside, wash the car. Let me get a little bit of yard work done. Maybe get some pre-spring cleaning stuff ready to go. You know, it's a little early. I know it's still February, but you know, it's okay. It's going to feel good this week. We do have a chance for some rain coming in, a brief showers through with that front coming through on Wednesday. Shouldn't amount to a whole lot. I think more significant rains will come toward the end of the week. Again, the weather pattern is changing. It's going to be a little more active, which means we get more storm systems in here. Something we've not seen a lot of. We've been getting rain, but when it's been occurring, it's been happening like a week apart, 10 days apart. It's not coming regularly to really help us out. So our drought conditions have been getting steadily worse, pretty much late fall and in most of the winter. But today's highs, again, about seasonable, about where they're supposed to be for this time of year for today. Tomorrow, though, a little bit warmer, even a little bit cooler in the northeast. But yeah, 64 will feel pretty good. Normal high 57. That's not bad at all. We'll take that. And then as we go through the next 7 days, check this one out. I know you were liking that. 71 there on Tuesday.
Absolutely.
That
That's exactly what I want to see.
Some clouds around, but not bad. Then we got the rain chance coming back on Wednesday, and then Friday, Saturday, more significant rain coming in for the weekend. New weather data is just now starting to come on in, so I'm waiting to see what it does with that next week system. I was telling you earlier, I said that the European model had kicked out yesterday when I left here.
Oh, yeah.
The following, we got a snowstorm for Sunday. I was like, no.
Cut that out.
Valentine's Day weekend, my first weekend off in like 6-7 weeks, and wife and I are going up to see Hart up there in Duluth on.
Which, by the way, I hope you enjoy yourself.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. We're going. It's Sunday night up there in Duluth, up there at the Civic Center up there, and so it is going to be it has to be a good weekend. I don't care if it rains. I mean, if it's going to rain, that's fine.
Yeah,
but no winter precipitation. No.
We can deal with rain.
No, I can deal with the rain,
never hurt
I don't want to be because if it's snow, if it's ice, that means how many hours of coverage you got to do,
Okay, you're going to have to get back to work.
Yep, that's the way it works.
All right, thank you for bringing us our forecast. We'll be checking back in with you a little later on.
Right.
This has been Greg Majeski. All right, still ahead, I want to go over some of our top news of the day. Remember, we've been talking about this hours-long SWAT standoff that happened in Atlanta. You may have even gotten caught in the traffic. Maybe
no, I got around it. Luckily, got around it.
Oh, thank goodness. But a lot of people didn't. We actually have some video for you right here. And so here's the latest that we know about it. I want to make sure I get a banner up for you guys so you know what story we're talking about, just in case you are watching instead of listening. So this situation happened on Cheshire Bridge Road, and we know that early in the morning yesterday, police were called to Helios. It's an apartment complex, actually a very beautiful one. I've actually toured over there, but they were called to that apartment complex allegedly for some shots fired. When they got to the scene, they say they were ambushed by a suspect who opened fire. One officer grazed by a bullet to his head. Another officer just experienced some lacerations, maybe some shrapnel wounds there. I'm not exactly sure what those injuries consisted of, but that's how they described them to us. So after that happened, those officers were rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital, but that suspect, as we heard, actually barricaded himself inside the apartment complex. So it took hours, negotiations, multiple police agencies coming up on the scene in order to eventually get him out. And we actually did have video of him being put into the back of a patrol car. But you're taking a look there on your screen at Alante Ray. We have just gotten his mugshot into our newsroom within the past, I would say, 30 minutes or so. We know that Alante is facing charges of aggravated assault against law enforcement. Another charge, possession of firearm or knife during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies. He's also facing criminal damage to property in the first degree. So again, we heard that he barricaded himself into the apartment complex, that police, SWAT, everybody was on the scene trying to make sense of it, trying to get him to come out. Eventually they were able to get him out and then arrest him. There was actually a press conference that happened on the scene. Our reporters who were reporting live for you guys yesterday got to cover it. I want to let you listen in to what the police department was able to give us at that point in time.
Okay, so good afternoon. I'm Major Pete Malecki with the Atlanta Police Department. Behind me, I have our homicide commander, Lieutenant Christopher Butler, and to my left, I have the Assistant Major Crimes Commander, Captain Jermaine Dearlove. So first of all, I want to thank everyone here, the community, for their patience as we worked through this difficult situation this morning. So around 7:30 this morning, our officers did respond to a 911 call for shots fired. That was at 2470 Cheshire Bridge. When officers arrived out there, they did notice indications of gunfire coming from a specific apartment. The officers went to clear that apartment. When they made entry into one of the back bedrooms, they were immediately met by gunfire from an individual who was barricaded in the apartment. Throughout that gunfire, we did have 2 officers sustain injuries. One suffered shrapnel injuries to his arm, and the other one suffered a gunshot wound to the head. Thankfully, it was a graze wound, so both of our officers are okay. They were checked out at Grady and subsequently cleared. The officers were able to pull back, establish a crime scene, a perimeter, which time we did call in our SWAT team, as you guys saw the heavy police activity in the area. And just moments ago, our SWAT team was able to successfully take that suspect into custody without any further injuries. So we're extremely grateful that no one in the community was injured and that we were able to take this guy into custody without incident. We did have 5 officers at that initial onset of gunfire that discharged their firearms. The suspect was not hit by gunfire, so we have requested the GBI to come in and assist us in leading the investigation. So I'm sure there's a lot of questions. We do not have that individual identified yet. I do not know what his relationship is yet to that apartment, whether he lived there, was a guest, or whatever. So we're just not sure. Now that the scene is safe, we'll begin to focus on the investigative process and get some of the answers to those questions.
This sounds like it was so close to being so much worse.
In that unit during that time of those shots fired. Are you guys finding out that there was a person in there at all when it happened?
So as of right now, the apartment has been cleared. We did not find any other individuals inside.
You had an officer grazed on the head, another shot. I mean, this is so close to being a real tragedy out here today, especially thinking about what's happening up north in Gwinnett County today.
I mean, we're extremely fortunate. I think when you have a situation like this, thankfully our training is on point. The officers are very well trained, and we're very fortunate that it didn't end in a tragedy today.
And talk about that pulling back, because you do the initial call, responding to an emergency, then you realize you have to pull back and bring in a different kind of a response.
Absolutely, and again, that's what we're trained for. That's why the officers undergo the training that they have. That's why we have a new public safety training center to provide top-notch training to our officers. And it's not just for the officers, but really it allows the best outcome for the community and keeping everyone safe. So again, very fortunate.
Bridget, was there like any negotiations or anything deployed to get him?
Absolutely, yeah. We did try to negotiate. Unfortunately, he would not come out, and that's what led to the lengthy standoff that took place.
Do you understand that there's other officers on that floor as well? Do you understand that if any of those officers that were shot lived by this individual?
So that, again, I don't know that yet. That's all part of the investigation that we have to really dig into at this point.
And that man that just drove by in the back of that car, was that the individual?
It is, yes. Yeah.
Let's make it clear that CBS has nothing to do with it. They just allowed us to use them.
Correct. Yeah.
So, the suspect, was he armed with a long gun, handgun?
We still got to determine that. Now that the scene is safe, once the GBI arrives on scene, we'll go in and begin processing that for evidence, and we'll hopefully have an answer to that shortly.
And that initial call, was that from someone in the apartment, someone in the apartment complex? How did you all end up out here?
Yeah, the 911 call came from the apartment complex. Yep.
Take us through what it went. Take us through what it went to get to this point. I mean, we saw people behind the apartment, in the apartment, ring video of it happening. I mean, take us through that.
Yeah. So again, once the initial incident took place, the officers followed their training. They pulled back, set up a perimeter, and that's to ensure that no one else is in danger going into the crime scene, and that, of course, that the suspect is unable to flee out and pose a danger to the community.
It's called widespread traffic problems and stuff. When was the last time you recall this big of a daily disruption?
Again, it certainly does cause a disruption, but safety to everyone is paramount, and so we will do what we need to do, obviously, to keep everyone safe. So I can't think of another time recently, but again, we do everything we can to expedite it while keeping everyone safe.
All right, thank you everyone for any.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, so in that press conference, you heard very briefly Major Malecki from the Atlanta Police Department did say he didn't have the identity of the person at that point in time to share with the media. Well, we have since learned that that suspect is Alante Ray from Stone Mountain. You're taking a look there at his mugshot that we have just recently gotten into our newsroom. Again, he's facing charges, multiple charges of aggravated assault against law enforcement officer when engaged on official duty. He's also facing one charge, criminal damage to property in the first degree, and one charge, possession of firearm or knife during commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies. The question that we still have is, what was he doing in the apartment complex? Still not clear just yet. I mean, we do have the address here being Stone Mountain, but not clear whether he was staying in that apartment complex or why he was there when all of this took place. All right, still ahead, we're going to bring bring you out live to Atlanta's Beltline. It's a beautiful area for a lot of people, especially when you first move to Atlanta. It's one of the first places you go to because there's just so much to do. Well, today we know there is a special exhibit that is highlighting some of the things that are happening in Iran, but also making sure that we know the names and the faces of those who are losing their lives. We'll get right out there live with our reporter Eli Jordan when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judea Murray. Happening right now on the Beltline, there is an exhibit any of you guys could go out and see. I want to get right out to our Eli Jordan, who's live on the grounds there. Give us a sneak peek. Eli, I'm going to let you take it away from there.
Hey, good morning, Judea. And yeah, I'm out here on the Beltline, just right by the Kroger, where there's a lot of traffic here. It's the Ponce Bridge is real close to us, and it's a very moving display of the people who have sacrificed their lives in the name of freedom over in Iran, over the several uprisings. There's currently an uprising right now that we need to be aware about what's going on. All these colored photos here display the names and ages of the people who have died recently in this most recent uprising. I mean, it's heartbreaking. We have a 15-year-old here out there protesting for freedoms. And the black and white ones are the past protests. I mean, especially 1988, 30,000 people were executed in one summer by the Khomeini. And the Iranian people are hoping for regime change, and they're looking, for awareness here. And the Iranian American community is out here displaying the names and ages of these people. 7 years old, Judea. But I am with Shorey Neferendareski of the Iranian American community. Get my eyes here straight. Thank you so much for joining us today. And just tell me, what is your goal out here? What are you guys wanting to do?
Okay, we are here to, as you said, bring awareness because these are the recent, these martyrs are from the recent uprising, and there are so many behind them that from the uprising of 2022 all the way back to the beginning of the time that this regime took place. Like you mentioned, in 1988, 30,000 people were executed just because they were against the regime. This is one side of the story, though. So although we want to bring awareness that this is the regime that is killing and this is what it does to its own citizens, imagine what it would do to the rest of the world, especially if it has the nuclear bomb.
But, hoping for regime change. Right now, our government is in some negotiations, and President Trump has sent over a bit of a fleet over there into the Persian Gulf for some intimidation, and which strong arming, which is good, I believe, and that's just my opinion. But what do you guys hope? I mean, if regime change happened, what do you guys want to see?
First off, I want to say that yes, President Trump has taken a firmer stand against this regime compared to the other people, but nevertheless, no matter who's in the office, the negotiation has been going on for so many decades, and that will not change the behavior of this regime. Iranian people, if they are on the streets, they are not demanding anything but the regime change, but not by another government or interference of another country. They can do it, but what the other countries can do, and we are asking them to do, is to support us morally, meaning closing, tightening the relationship with the regime, closing their embassies, deporting the members of the IRGC or anybody who's affiliated with the people in the government of Iran. Stop negotiating, because that is supplying oxygen to this regime. The Iranian people can take care of the regime, but they need this moral support. So this is when the organization National Council of Resistance, that the Iranian American communities support, comes into the picture, because it's a coalition of so many groups and individuals, 475, and they've been fighting against this regime for the past 45 years. They have an organization. They are well respected and well known. They have their leader. They have a plan for the future of Iran. And they said 22 years ago, they said, no appeasement, no war. Third option, support the Iranian people and acknowledge the organized resistance group NCRI. And I can show you that I have here some magazines the U.S. Congress supports, both Senate and these are the Iranian people. This lady, Maryam Rajavi, is the leader of this movement. There are pictures of what is happening on the streets. These are the supports of the representatives and briefings that we constantly.
And you have copies of that to give away here if people wanted to. If people on the Beltline and they want to learn more, you can provide them with that. Correct?
We normally have a book table. We have a table with books, and they can buy books, or they can just get some that are free. But
and they can also go to oiac.org to learn more.
Exactly.
oiac.org.
Organization of Iranian American Communities.
oiac.org. Okay.
Exactly. And get some information there as well. I also wanted to show you, this is the plan forward for the future of Iran. As you see, that it's a 10-point plan: rejection of Velayat Faqih or the supreme leader, freedom of speech, freedom of political parties, freedom of assembly, internet, commitment to individual and social freedom, separation of religion and state, gender equality, independent judiciary system, autonomy for the ethnicities, and justice and equal opportunities for employment, protection of the environment, and non-nuclear, secular, and republic. So we do not want to go back to monarchy. You mentioned 1979 revolution. Back then, people said, they toppled down the Shah, and they said goodbye. And we're not going back 47 years later having the same thing.
You want self-rule. You don't want,
exactly,
because the Shah was, I guess, some people say, with the puppet of the American government.
Well, exactly.
And
that
so,
is the only democratic way forward.
You may have had Western traditions, but I mean, he was still an impressive person.
Yes, he was definitely. We had a one-party rule. He called himself the shadow of the god, and there were so many young people that lost their lives, just like these people when he was in power. So just because it had a made-up face and was a looking more westernized, that didn't mean that he was not a dictator.
It's high time for Iran to finally govern themselves and use their own resources for their own for their own benefit, and not have others take it or use them or whatever they have been for since World War II, I believe, or since before that, 1928, I believe, something.
1920.
My history is a little bit dusty old,
It was
that far,
1924 when the father of the Shah was actually imposed to Iranian people by the British government. And then in 1953 we had this democratically elected Prime Minister Mossadegh, who nationalized the oil industry, and he was toppled down by the coup, and the Shah fled. Every time people have an uprising, Shah would just flee the country because he didn't know what to do with it.
So ultimately, what does the Iranian American community want to see? Ultimately, one more time,
the Iranian American community, just like all these people, would like to see the regime changed by the Iranian people. We do not want boots on ground. We do not want the taxpayer money. We want the support of the Congress, of the governments in America, in Canada, in Europe, in democratic countries, to say no more negotiation and appeasement and no war. Just let the Iranian people do the job. If you stop appeasement, if you tighten the sanction, if you deport the members of the regime and their affiliated ones that are here, and the Iranian people know how to take care of it.
The current situation, RN, do they have internet right now?
Well, you know what happened this time? This uprising was actually very different from any other uprisings that we had, because it started from the most conservative part of the economical institutions, the Grand Bazaar, which normally, traditionally, was supportive of the government. But this time, the uprising started from there, and it caught up very, very quickly, over 400 cities almost in all 31 provinces. And people were also, the number of the people on the streets, the slogans that was very much more radicalized. That's, we don't want harmony, we don't want this regime, we don't want our money to be spent on other countries. So, and that's why the regime actually was a little bit fiercer and shut down the internet, and in the dark that it created.
So when people come by here, what do you want the locals here to, I mean, we got a lot of people walking from, all sorts of walks of life here. What do you hope they come away seeing this exhibit here?
Some of them just look at us and wave. Some of them come and talk to us, and if we have any flyers or anything, we give it to them. We just tell them where to go, the websites and everything.
What do you hope they'll come away with? Do you hope to maybe change some minds or enlighten some?
Of course, at least they know that there is a hope, and Iranian people are not just saying, okay, look at us, we're just being killed, so have mercy on us. That's not the only thing. We also want them to know that we are looking for a brighter future in Iran. We are trying to convince everybody that we do have an alternative. We do have resistance cells in Iran. They are fighting tooth and nail on the streets of Iran. We have the political wing here. We have a government in exile. So everything is ready, and the transitional time will be only 6 months, and then people can choose the type of government they want and the members of the government.
Real quick, you were born in Iran.
Yes.
Gorgon?
Gorgon.
Gorgon. And that's just south of the Caspian Sea, correct?
It is.
Tell me, just so people will know, what is Iran like? We just think about what we see on TV and the news.
Iran is a very big country, and it has the Caspian Sea on the north and Persian Gulf down in the south. The center part, geographically speaking, the central part is sort of a desert and dry, but all around it, it is very lush and beautiful. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'll call you in a second. And it was another reporter, sorry.
It's okay.
And the other interesting thing is that a lot of ethnic groups live right around the borders of Iran, and that's very important because the minorities together, the ethnic groups together, actually they make up the majority of the population, and that majority definitely do not want Shah or his son or anything monarchic come back to the picture.
Well, sure. Thank you so much. And we're out here on the Beltline. You guys are going to be out here for several hours, I imagine.
Yes.
And enlightening the community and letting people know the names and ages of victims of these uprisings and the most recent, and also too to tell the world they want self-government.
Yes.
And they want they want freedom.
Thank you.
Judea, back to you.
Eli, it has been so interesting listening into you guys' conversation. I kind of feel like a fly on the wall, but she has a wealth of knowledge. And so very clearly we can see that if we do want to make our way out there, they're encouraging people to ask questions, learn something, maybe even share some of your own thoughts. This is all happening right there on the Beltline. This is the East Side Trail close to Kroger, directly across from Kroger, that Eli Jordan is standing outside of. And it started at 11 a.m. I do believe they will be going until 1 p.m. That's at least the plan. They may stick out there longer if so many people are interested in learning more. But very cool. We'll try to check back in with Eli in just a little bit. But you guys, I want to take now a live look at Levi Stadium out in California, where we know tonight the Super Bowl will be on air. You guys may be watching for the commercials, maybe you're watching for the pro ballers, or maybe you're like me and you're watching for Bad Bunny. There are going to be a lot of interesting performers. I actually got to talk to a journalist, a reporter, live at the scene from Levi Stadium. Her name is Ashley Dvorkin, and she kind of previewed the big game for us. I want to let you listen into that conversation we had earlier. Right out to our reporter Ashley Dvorkin, who is live from us all the way from California. Ashley, I mean, it's been big here in Atlanta. I can only imagine what it's like out there at the stadium.
Yes, it has been so exciting in all of the days leading up today, Super Bowl Sunday with the Seahawks and the Patriots ready to take the field now. As soon as we got here, we were in San Francisco because there are parties, experiences, red carpets all throughout the Bay Area. There's interactions, there's exhibits. We were checking some of that out the first day. Red carpets are rolled out. Celebrities are here. I saw John Hamm at a lot of things. He hosted the NFL Honors. Cardi B has also been out, little performances, and she has been rumored as a potential guest for the halftime show with Bad Bunny. We will see. So yes, there's a lot leading. And even today, Teddy Swims, he's going to be performing at a tailgate party that is right here at Levi Stadium. Guy Fieri has a great food set up as a tailgate party. So the parties all continue right up until that 3:30 local kickoff. Judea.
Okay, that's going to be really exciting for us. And I mean, let's build on that. I imagine that everybody getting out there, they're ready to have a good time. You mentioned, you teased potentially some of the performers there. Fingers crossed for Cardi B. But have you heard a little bit more about who's doing the national anthem, America the Beautiful, all of those songs?
Yes, so we have Coco Jones, Lift Every Voice and Sing, America the Beautiful, Brandi Carlile, and the national anthem, Charlie Puth. He was talking about how musically difficult it is as a song and how he was a little bit nervous. They all were talking about how they're honored to be doing these performances, to have these moments and to soak up these moments today at the game. Judea?
That's going to be exciting too. I'm glad again that you mentioned Cardi B, because a lot of things, that's been buzzing around social media is whether or not the halftime performance is going to turn into like a big Latin expression of culture. And so, I mean, you did say you heard her performing. Have we heard anything else about what we could potentially see from the halftime performance?
Yes. Well, she was at some parties and, of course, sang a little bit. And so everybody's thinking, okay, she's here. She's here in town. She's just in the area. But she is one of the names when people are wondering if Bad Bunny might bring out some guests to join him. He wanted to keep it a surprise. They have a press conference leading up to the big show. And he said he wanted to keep that part a surprise. But what he does promise is a dance party for everyone. He said, practice those dance moves. So I really can't wait. I have been practicing, and I will be in there in Levi's Stadium to watch him. I'm very excited. Judea?
I mean, Ashley, speaking of practicing, I told our audience that I downloaded Duolingo. I was getting on my Spanish game because I will 100% be singing word for word when he starts performing. Let me ask you this. I do see
fantastic.
Yes. So much fog. We were talking to our meteorologist too about what to expect. Apparently the weather will be nice, but right now it is foggy. Will that impact anything at the stadium?
I really don't don't think so. Everybody has been here for days. They can't wait for this moment. Yes, I think that there's going to be the tailgates are going to get a great turnout, and I think that everybody has just been waiting for this day. And like I said, the party continues right up until the minute of kickoff.
All right, big question for you here. It's going to be the question that I ask everybody once they start trickling into the newsroom. Who are you rooting for? Do you have a prediction of who might win?
Well, I have to tell you that as we're out here, we're right next to our friends at Fox Seattle. So I will say the Seahawks, but I will also tell you this story that my 8-year-old nephew, who is the biggest football fan, I asked him who I should be rooting for, and he said he has never seen anyone get more points in the playoffs than the Seahawks have. And he then listed the scores. He said 31 and 41. So the kid knows his stuff. I think I'm going to go with the Seahawks. What about you?
He's really good at this.
Eight. I know. But yes, but I was like, who do I ask? And I called him right up.
You asked me.
I think so. Yes, that's what we think.
You asked me who did I want to see, and of course,
yes.
I would have loved to have said the Atlanta Falcons, but they're not in the game, and I don't know when we could see them in the Super Bowl next. But I guess the Seahawks. I gotta say the Seahawks.
There you go. All right.
Ashley,
we'll see. We'll talk tomorrow.
So much fun.
Yeah,
we'll see what actually happens. I'm looking forward to my Super Bowl party tonight, and I'm assuming you're going to get out there and enjoy yourself as well. All right, so you guys are now taking a live look back out at Levi Stadium, expected to be the home of a great party tonight, the Super Bowl. Again, that airs 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's our time. Ashley was telling us, I think it'll be about 2:30-ish or so, her time. So really interesting there. We will definitely be keeping up to date with what's happening. You can expect our Fox 5 Sports teams also have some coverage after the big game. That's going to be really exciting. But if you're not interested in football, but you do like the idea of the Super Bowl, getting ready for a party together, can I interest you in the Puppy Bowl? Our Kim Loeffler got to interview a representative from this year's Puppy Bowl who explained a little bit more about what we can expect from our furry friends.
I am joined now by someone who has one of the best jobs on the face of the earth, Mr. Dan Schachner. Dan, thanks so much for joining us. You're heading into your 15th year as the referee for the Puppy Bowl, where Team Ruff and Team Fluff are going to be going head-to-head for the coveted Lombardi Trophy. And I see we have a special guest. Tell us who you have with you.
I can't go anywhere without a dog. And this is Gil. He's from the Sato Project. It's one of our rescues. And he's repping Team Ruff this year. And we're really excited to tell you all about Puppy Bowl.
Amazing. So a little bit, obviously, as I mentioned, you're going into your 15th year.
Yeah.
So what is something that you look forward to each and every year?
What I look forward to the most is how every dog can surprise me. No two dogs are alike, obviously. They each have their own backgrounds. They each have their own challenges as well. We have we have 15 special needs dogs, the most amount ever. And then we have dogs that simply, are looking for a home and may have been overlooked for one reason or another. Puppy Bowl has a 100% adoption rate, so all of our dogs do get adopted by the time Puppy Bowl is done airing. But with 150 dogs, that's a record for us this year. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Amazing. That must make you feel so good to know that you just played a small role in these dogs finding their forever home.
100%. And, it's easy. I always say it's easy to get dogs on national TV adopted because they're adorable and whatever. But the rescues that we work with, 72 across the country, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, all report an uptick in adoption inquiries. Like the Sato Project, they're going to have a bunch of dogs on Puppy Bowl. They're going to report a huge, and that's what it is. It's a lasting impact once Puppy Bowl ends.
Amazing. And I understand this year you guys are also going to be featuring senior dogs as well. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So excited about that. Our halftime show is another bowl. I guess it's a bowl inside of a bowl. And you're going to have a senior exhibition game called the Pro Dog Halftime Game. All senior adoptable dogs playing football as well. It'll be a mini game, maybe 5-10 minutes, not too long, but enough to get people excited and interested. And listen, support our message that all dogs need a home.
And as a senior dog mom myself, I can tell you they are the absolute best. Now,
The best.
any different rules for the senior bowl game here?
You know, they're less toy motivated than the younger ones are. You know, senior dogs have really seen it all. So, you know, throwing a chew toy to get them going is not the most invigorating thing for them. There's a lot more excessive slumbering penalties being thrown, a lot more loitering penalties, wallflowering. Yeah, dogs are taking their time. So we've got a slower game pace overall. The penalties do remain the same, but just, you know, it's a little calmer, more chill, which again could appeal to some families.
For people who have, tuned into the Puppy Bowl each and every year, what can they expect this year? The same kind of energy and excitement that we see each and every year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, again, 150 dogs, but we've got a pre-game kickoff. And during that time, you're going to see a skills test, a combine, if you will, of what it takes to become a Puppy Bowl pup. So you're going to watch the final 10 puppies of our roster get drafted right before game day. It's going to be super exciting. But what I like about the pre-game show is that it shows you all the energy and the skills going into the big game and all the preparation that's involved in getting there. I'm excited because of that, because of the special needs dogs that I've mentioned, and because we have 100% adoption rate every single year.
Amazing. Looking forward to it. So just remind us when and where we can watch.
Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's February 8th on Animal Planet, on Discovery. It's also going to be on TBS, True TV, and streaming on HBO Max.
Amazing. Well, I'll definitely be tuning in. Dan, thank you so much for taking some time this morning, and we're looking forward to it.
And Bosley's Place is from Atlanta, and they're repped in Puppy Bowl too, so shout out to them.
There we go.
Thanks,
All
guys.
right. Thanks, Dan.
All right, speaking of Bosley's Place, I'm still drumming up this interview because I'm so excited. Soon we will be chatting with the director, the founder of Bosley's Place, and we may have a special guest joining us as well. We'll be talking about what it takes to get into the Puppy Bowl and how excited they are to watch their big debut. We have more news coming up for you guys in just a second, so please don't go anywhere. I do want to let you know up ahead we'll be talking to you about some of the biggest court cases that you'll want to pay attention to this week. Also going back over some of the things that we heard last week. For example, the Tara Baker murder trial. A lot of you guys have some interest in that. So we'll go over that when we come back. Hey guys, welcome to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Jadea Murray. If you are a true crime junkie, this part of the show is for you. If you heard of the Tara Baker murder trial, we have been covering it for the last week and some change, but I want to unpack it with you all just in case this is the very first time you were hearing this young woman's name and just now hearing about what happened. This is actually decades in the making. We learned that in 2001, back in January, a young woman by the name of Tara Baker, she was only 23 years old at the time, and I do believe she was studying law at the University of Georgia. She was an aspiring lawyer. She was killed, and then her body was left and burned inside an apartment off of Fawn Drive. Again, this all happening in 2001. Well, it wasn't until 2024 that someone was arrested for her murder. We know his name now as Edric Faust. He's on trial as we speak. So on Friday, that was the last time we heard from this courtroom. Do want to let you know we will continue streaming live coverage of this case and unpacking it all together on our website. But here's what we know so far. On Friday, that was day 5 of this trial. It was a very tense and dense day for testimony. They focused on forensic evidence that was used to charge Edric Faust with this 23-year-old's murder. So during Friday's testimony, a significant portion of it was dedicated to a hair expert who detailed some of the microscopic structures used to analyze some evidence that was found way back in 2001. The expert actually broke it down into 3 main parts of hair. So the expert noted that there was some blonde hair that had a fine diameter. She says blonde hair often lacks the unique observational features found in larger or more heavily pigmented hair like black hair or brown hair, which makes it a definitive identification pretty difficult. This supported some of the defense's earlier opening statements where they said that Caucasian hair that was found in Baker's hands did not match Faust's. We haven't shown you a photo or a video of him just yet, but he is a black older gentleman. So they said that that hair that was found on Baker's hands, allegedly maybe belonging to a suspect, would not have belonged to him. It instead pointed to maybe potentially a different suspect. So following that hair expert who spoke a little bit in depth, there was the laboratory technician who also testified regarding some advanced DNA testing that was conducted back in 2023, so a couple of years ago. This testing, according to the expert, isolated male DNA from a sexual assault kit that had been preserved for over 2 decades now. Remember, I said this is decades in the making. Investigators say that that led to a direct match with Faust in the FBI's CODIS database. So here you have a tale of 2 stories. You have one side where a hair expert is saying there's no way that this hair that we found in this woman's hand belongs to the suspect who's on trial for her murder. And then on the other hand, you have the laboratory technician who says, well, we also did some DNA testing and come to find out that it isolated some of the DNA, and now we can say, in fact, with certainty, that it did belong to Faust, the man who's on trial for her murder. Courtroom atmosphere was absolutely tense, and we have been seeing that for the past couple of days as we have been covering this. We know that they have continuously tried to move for a retrial, arguing that significant chain of custody issues over the last 23 years may have compromised the integrity of the DNA samples. So one of the defense attorneys, Ahmad R. Cruz, has characterized the state's case as an attempt to retrofit a suspect into a cold case just by using DNA alone, while at the same time lacking fingerprints or eyewitnesses. All right, so the judge has denied all mistrial requests up to this point in time, also telling the defense that they're just having a tantrum over unfavorable rulings and that is inappropriate. Earlier this week, Cruz was held in contempt of court and fined $1,000 for violating the state's rape shield law during his opening statements. So we know that trial will resume Monday, February 9th. You guys can watch it with us. We will be having that coverage for you guys. You can watch it either on the Fox Local app. I think you'll also be able to stream it on YouTube, where we have been doing that for the last couple of days. But again, if I can just go over the facts that we do know about this case, whether or not it's stuff that has to be proven in court, but just the raw facts of the case. Back in 2001, on January 19th, Tara Baker, you're just looking at a picture of her there on your screen, was found dead in her apartment. Her body was burned in that apartment off of Fawn Drive. This was just a day before she was supposed to turn 24. Investigators have determined that that fire was intentionally set. They also ruled her death a homicide. So now, over 20 years later, we're revisiting that case because there was an arrest recently made. Edric Faust, arrested in 2024 in connection to the death of Tara Baker. She was a law student, so we've heard testimonies from roommates, from classmates, from the experts that I just told you about. Not quite sure how many more days we are expected to be in court, but as soon as we have a ruling, a verdict, as soon as the jury makes a decision, trust and believe we will get that out to you guys. So again, the trial will resume on Monday, February 9th, tomorrow. You guys be sure to stick with us and watch it. Last but not least, I'm taking a look at our time now. We have a couple of more minutes, so let me run through this one real quick. Remember the FBI raid out in Fulton County? Well, we just got some recently released body camera video from some of the officers who were in the facility when this happened. It actually shows an FBI raid clash. So let's get into this. FBI agents, as you know, confiscated hundreds of materials, hundreds of boxes containing some 2020 ballots and also some voter poll information and rolls that were all taken during this unannounced raid. When we heard about this, we tried to get out there and get live pictures from the scene. I think our chopper was flying over it. We definitely had reporters on the ground. I recall our Larry Spruill Jr. right there outside of the door trying to get as much information and those live interviews as soon as he could for us. Now, some video that has been recently released shows a first-hand look inside that FBI raid. It was captured by a Fulton County police officer, and it shows agents executing a search warrant at the Union City facility. So among the items that were taken, remember I told you hundreds of boxes. We know that there were ballots, voter rolls, all coming from the 2020 election. And this may be some sort of contest because we know that President Donald Trump has maintained that he does believe the election 2020 was stolen from him. He does believe that Georgia had a hand in that. So it's possible that despite these multiple recounts, audits, court case filings, and failings, that maybe that is why all of those voter information, pieces of information were taken, and maybe that is what the investigation is about. Also in the footage, you could see both Fulton County officials and Chairman Rob Pitts, County Attorney Sue Jew appear to go back and forth with the agents as the federal team restricts access to the building. One of our photojournalists actually found himself inside the building because someone opened the door for him, and I heard live on air an FBI agent who was in there told him, you know, you're not supposed to be in this part of the building. He retorted, well, I don't have a key. I didn't let myself in, which, you know, goes to show that someone did open the door for him. So we do know that they were trying to make sure that nobody was inside when they were doing this FBI raid, so that very few eyes were in that building. But of course, now we have this firsthand look because of some body camera footage. One agent could be heard saying, this is a criminal investigation, this area is restricted. Also adding, I just wanted to say that because we're adding a lot of people into the mix. So the FBI maintains that there's been no confusion during the operation, despite county officials claiming otherwise, and they also sent out a written statement saying that its team arrived with court-authorized warrants and had to return to a judge to refine it after discovering a previously unknown secure area inside the large facility. This action was taken to make sure the search warrant was clearly defined and everything was in proper order. All of that coming from the FBI. So that's what we have there on that. We have a article on our website that goes into further depth of what actually took place there. You'll be able to watch that video back if you would like to and listen into it. But that is what we know. We're definitely going to continue seeing more people weigh in on this. I know the Fulton County officials have already said that they are filing a motion and maybe even a lawsuit as to what happened out there with that FBI raid, suggesting that the FBI needs to return that information because they say it's personal, sensitive information as soon as possible. All of this happening right before the midterm elections. Not a lot of people are feeling very confident and comfortable with this. So that's the latest that we have there on that. Again, you can watch this video, read more information on the Fox Local app or fox5atlanta.com. Taking a look now, we do need to take a step back, but when we come back, I want to talk to you briefly about the officer who was laid to rest out in Gwinnett County, what happened, how we got there, and then more about his celebration of life, all when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judea Murray. Just yesterday, we know a beloved officer in Gwinnett County was laid to rest. We actually attended his celebration of life ceremony. We have some video to show you from it. It started with the police chief walking the Officer Pradeep Tamang's body into 12 Stone Church. This is a church out in Lawrenceville. We know hundreds of law enforcement officers from all across Metro Atlanta actually came out to show their support. In the very front row, we know that Governor Brian Kemp sat with his wife, First Lady Marty Kemp, again, just to show the family's solidarity, so they knew that they were not alone and that more people would be showing their love for this young officer. And by young, he was just 25 years old, who lost his life in the line of duty. So let's go over what happened. This all took place about a week ago in Stone Mountain. At the time, we knew that 2 officers were called to respond to a hotel out in Gwinnett County, is Stone Mountain area, and someone opened fire. This was supposed to be just a run-of-the-mill fraud call where they would be coming in, maybe serving a warrant, maybe making an arrest, and that was supposed to be it. But the suspect, according to police, opened fire, shooting those 2 officers. Those 2 officers returned fire, shooting the suspect. All of them went to the hospital. Unfortunately, Officer Pradeep Tamang never made it out. So his family, he's from Nepal, his family lives in Pennsylvania. They had to travel all the way here to Georgia yesterday for that beautiful ceremony. It was very emotional, very heartfelt. We heard from a lot of different people, between friends, colleagues. We heard from his fiancée because he was supposed to get married soon. We also heard from his cousin. Everybody's sharing their own anecdotes about who exactly this officer was. A lot of people, I mean, you see there talking about his smile, how that warm of a smile he had that would just light up any room that he entered. While we know that Officer Tamang lost his life, we do know that Master Police Officer David Reed, who was with him, was critically injured. He was rushed to the hospital. He had to undergo surgery. We do believe, though, that he is going to make a speedy recovery. He's still recovering now as we speak. The officer set up a GoFundMe, or excuse me, not a GoFundMe, a fundraiser where they're trying to collect money for all of the families involved. So if you guys would like to know more about it, it's there up there on your screen. It's a Zephy fundraiser. We have more information on our website. Now, still ahead, I want to get you back out to some of the latest news that we are covering for the day. So, you guys, I'll see you in a minute. Hey guys, welcome to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Jadea Murray. We've got our Greg Majeski, our meteorologist, back up on the desk with us. We are officially in the afternoon. We made it.
We made it. Yes, we did.
So, you know, a lot of people are getting ready for the Super Bowl tonight. There are going to be a lot of watch parties. Is the weather supposed to hold up?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's great. If you got a barbecue or anything, get things ready to go. Cook some hamburgers, hot dogs, looking pretty good. Not bad.
That sounds amazing to me.
Got a great camera shot here of, what was it again? Pelican Pete's. I forgot the name of the restaurant there. That's up there in Lake Lanier. What I love is that the lake is almost dead calm. I mean, it's very, very calm out there. Unlike yesterday, we had all that windy weather around yesterday. Really made for a you know, a bit of a coolish afternoon. But today, not bad at all. Can't look bad there. We got a clean radar. That's good. That's gonna stay that way for the rest of the day. So no problems there. No
That's all I need. It's here.
No problems for anything going on Super Bowl related here for today. And temperatures are warming up nicely, getting up to 49 now here in Atlanta, 47 Blairsville, 50 in Noonan. So again, we expect temperatures to top out middle to upper, 50s, upper 50s down south, lower 50s north, but they're basically fairly seasonable, about where they're supposed to be for this time of year. Can't complain there. I mean, we could, but what good would it do us, right? But anyway, I digress. Anyway, the other part of the story is we don't have any wind out there to really deal with. Yesterday, if you remember, we were showing this graphic. It was 20, 25 mile per hour wind gusts. It was pretty bad. The wind's pretty calm. We got high pressure sitting on top of us, so that's not an issue here for today. We do have high pressure there in control. We're going to see a bit of a westerly westerly wind, which means a warming wind for us. We're going to warm things up a little bit as we go in for tomorrow, and then continuing into Tuesday. And and I wasn't lying when I said Tuesday. We could see some 70-degree temperatures in the area, but it's going to be brief. It's not sticking around.
I'll take it.
It's still February, folks. We're not quite into spring yet, but we like sometimes refer to this as fall spring. We got some showers possible on Wednesday, moving on through. Then we'll get a break, and then the main action turns to this weekend. That's when the more significant rains will be coming in. Still tracking that for like Saturday, Sunday for some pretty decent rains across here. But today, again, we're going to top out in the 50s. Pretty nice here for everybody this afternoon. Tomorrow, a little bit warmer. Looking at 64 there in Atlanta, 67 down there toward Thomaston, but still holding on to some upper 50s across northeast Georgia. Looking pretty good there. And the rest of the 7-day, again, there's that 71 there on Tuesday. Bringing the chance of rain there on Wednesday, which doesn't look too bad there. But again, the most significant rain chance is probably coming in for Saturday and Sunday. And if the trends continue, that rain chance on Saturday is definitely going to be going upward.
Now, I'm not mad at this at all, Greg. I mean, I can handle some rain if it's going to come with temperatures like that.
I just know that we don't have, outside of what we had this morning, we don't have any freezing temperatures for the week. So we'll get a break. We'll take it.
Yes, we sure will. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, bringing us our weather forecast. A lot of people have been looking forward to seeing what was going to happen today. So I appreciate you joining us. You guys, we are going to try to get on out to our Eli Jordan. I know that he is at the belt line where there is a photo display. I don't know if he's having technical difficulties, so we may want to. Okay, we can go out to him. All right, you guys, we're going to check in with our Eli Jordan. Eli, I understand that out there on the belt line they have this pretty cool photo display. I want you to pick it up from there. What is it all about?
Yeah, the Iranian American community of Georgia is out here on the belt line, right next to the Kroger East Side belt line, and they're wanting to bring awareness to the rest of us about the wanting regime change finally after 47 years after the revolution. And they have put on a display pictures of people, protesters, who have died during this most recent upbringing, the colored photos and the black and white photos display victims of the past protest uprisings. In 1988, I learned that summer of 1988, 30,000 people were executed for their wanting freedoms. And I'm with Shorey Mefrendeski, and she is with the Iranian community of Georgia. Shorey, tell me, what are you guys hoping, what do you guys want?
We want regime change in Iran. That's simple. Regime change in Iran from inside Iran by the people of Iran. They know how to get rid of this regime. If the world community, other countries do not continue appeasing and talking and negotiating and prolonging the life of this regime. It was very obvious from 25 years ago, 22 years ago, that this regime will not change. But they kept on hoping for it. They were hoping that by giving incentives, it will change its behavior, which didn't happen, but they kept continuing the same thing. So we want the countries to know the right of the Iranian people to protest, the right of the Iranian people to defend themselves, and the right of the Iranian people to have a better life, democratic life.
So you're out here on the belt line displaying photos of people who have died and been killed in Iran protests. What do you hope people coming by, what do you want them to come away with when they see this?
People come, take a look, they understand. Sometimes they take a photo. This gentleman was walking the other day. He's from Pakistan, and he stood and listened to us and talked to us, and after that he's been showing up every day. So we had another one. He was an actor, and he was walking by, and he stood with us for the rest of the time. So, people come, they ask, they buy books that they have on the book table. They find out, this is the raising awareness for our community.
And so, and you guys want self-rule, right? You don't want, a place government or anything. You guys want the people to elect the Iranian people. What Iran wants. What do you guys want for Iran? What does the Iranian American community want for Iran?
The Iranian American community job. The Iranian American community is a grassroots organization. It consists of people, ordinary people. So I'm a retired teacher. So all I can do is to raise awareness and support a group that can provide a better future for us. So we all are supporting supporting the National Council of Resistance of Iran, which is a coalition of 475 people and groups, and they've been fighting for 45 years. Their experience, they have a government in exile, they have resistance cells inside Iran. They're well known and well respected in the Congress of the United States and in the parliaments of European countries. So this, we are supporting them.
How hopeful are you guys now, today, with this most recent uprising?
Very helpful. It's very obvious. All this killing, this mass killing that happened, shows how weak the regime is, and Khamenei's back is against the wall, and this is the only thing that he knows how to do. He's creating fear, and by that he wants to make sure that people are going to be quiet. So he shut down the internet and kill. The other thing I want to say is that we want to make sure that people acknowledge and recognize the only alternative that is organized. There are some fake alternatives, such as the son of the Shah, but we got rid of the monarchy system 7 years ago, and we don't want, Iranian people don't want to go back to the monarchy. So no monarchy and no theocracy. Republic, secular, democratic, non-nuclear republic.
And if people want to learn more, what's the website they can go to?
The website is OIAC, or OIAC, the Organization of Iranian American Communities, OIAC.org.
OIAC.org. So people can go to OIAC.org. If they're not out here, then come. And then, of course, if you're out on the Beltline, they can approach you and speak to you guys about the regime change in Iran, because ultimately that's what you guys want, is regime change.
We're here every weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, depending on the weather. We are going to be here
every weekend until you get regime change.
Thank you. Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Very good. Judea, that's what's going on out here at the Beltline. It's a very noble cause. Iranians want freedom in their country. Iranian Americans want freedom in their homeland. They don't want another shot. They don't want a Khomeini. They want self-rule. They want to live their own lives in their own country and just have what we have, freedom.
Democratic, non-nuclear republic.
You heard it, secular, democratic, non-nuclear country. Republic. That's
Eli, oh, hold on. I think we may have frozen up on your shot. If we can get you back, though, and if you can still hear me, hopefully we'll be able to check back in with you. But I heard, I'm looking at our live stream, and a couple of people are asking, what is it that they are yelling? Can you make out what they're saying over their megaphones or whatnot?
They're saying regime change, regime change.
Got you.
Regime change in Iran.
Thank you for helping us make that out. All right, it looks like we'll keep moving on, but thank you. It's been interesting watching that scene develop where Eli Jordan is. Earlier, it was not many people out there, just the organizers really, hoping that people would come by where they could share some of the information, answer questions, really welcome a conversation, and then we have seen it, I wouldn't say turn, because that is still the intent, till 1 p.m. to be able to answer questions, show what's happening, make sure people can see the faces, and learn the names of the people who are losing their lives out in Iran during these protests. But at the same time, we now see that it has turned into, I guess you could say, sort of like a protest, because they do have either a megaphone or a microphone where they're now explaining loudly some of their viewpoints. So I would say maybe this is turning into a kind of a peaceful but protests out there on the Beltline. But it is still out there if you guys want to get out there and check it out. I am taking a look at some of our live cameras from around the United States, and I do see that there is a helicopter flying over Nancy Guthrie's home. This is all happening in Tucson, Arizona. Remember, Nancy Guthrie is the mother, I believe she is 84 years old, the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie. She has been missing for days now, and according to officials, they do believe that she was taken by force, not on her own volition. So the little bit of information that we have is that she was at home. Her family hasn't seen or heard from her in quite some time. Officials did say that there seems to be evidence of struggle or invasion at her home. They said that there was blood, and so far they have gotten quite a few ransom notes. One of them, I do believe they were able to determine was just a hoax ransom note. But right now, according to Fox News, There's another ransom demand for $6 million. We also know that just last night, law enforcement left Annie Guthrie's home at 10:30 p.m. local time, so out there in Arizona, after spending about 2.5 hours at her home Saturday evening. At least 4 members of the Pima County Sheriff's Department arrived at the property in 2 unmarked white SUVs and a white truck, marking the first extended law enforcement activity at Annie Guthrie's home in days. As police left the scene, Fox News Digital said that they saw a deputy loading a white case into his vehicle, and that same white case that was loaded into the vehicle is the same white case that they do believe had been carried inside earlier that day. They also say that they saw a grocery-sized brown bag being taken from the home as well. Law enforcement appeared to be taking some pictures in the garage before they moved to the opposite side of the home where 3 bedrooms are located. We know that white photography flashes could be seen inside the home and garage, and a jacket was placed over one of the home's windows, blocking any view of the media from outside. Now, while outside the home, remember, Fox News Digital is the one who's reporting all of this. Some of those reporters reported hearing some clanking noises from the inside, suggesting that maybe law enforcement may have been moving some items around or taking some items out. It still remains unclear whether anybody is currently inside that home, but we do have that helicopter flying over the scene. That video comes from the Fox flight team. Let's bring you back out to it. All right, so the sheriff's deputies have pulled up to Nancy Guthrie's house. Again, we do know that this is live images. These are live images coming from the home as well. Last thing I can tell you is that the search does continue. Hopefully we find out more information about where Nancy Guthrie is, and I hope that she is safe and sound and is returned in one piece. President Donald Trump told reporters on Friday that we might be nearing a definitive answer in this case one way or another. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for any information on Guthrie's disappearance. They're also still vetting those ransom notes, but remember, I did tell you the latest one is for $6 million. Savannah Guthrie posted her own video on Instagram on Saturday, saying that her family had received a message that they were pleading for the return of their missing mother, Nancy Guthrie. So that is the latest that we have there on that. Unfortunately, still no suspects or persons of interest have been identified. We are now in, what is this, the 8th day? The 8th day of searching for Miss Nancy Guthrie, hoping for her safe return. All right, still ahead, I'm hoping that pretty soon I will be able to bring you a fun interview. You know, the Super Bowl is this evening. It's a really big deal, especially for a animal shelter here in Atlanta. They got to send one of their very own to represent them in the Puppy Bowl. The whole point of it all is to try and get them adopted. I want to get you that interview, hopefully, when we come back. guys, I'm Judea Murray from Fox 5 News Live. Glad you could join me. Today is not only a sports lover's dream day, but it's also a great day for animal lovers. It's the Puppy Bowl. And representing Atlanta, we've got a cute little furry friend joining us now. I want to get right out to Jennifer Siegel. She's the founder and director of Bosley's Place. First, Jennifer, tell us what Bosley's Place is all about, and then we'll get into the Puppy Bowl.
Sure. Well, Bosley's Place is a neonatal rescue orphanage. We take in newborn orphaned puppies that don't have moms, and we bottle feed them or tube feed them and raise them and eventually find them amazing families.
Sounds great. Okay, so how did you guys get involved in a, cool thing like the Puppy Bowl?
Well, this will be our 5th year doing Puppy Bowl. The first year we did it, we had a little puppy that was born and paralyzed during the birthing process. So he was our wheelchair puppy. He was our first one that made it to the Puppy Bowl, and we've participated ever since. It's been wonderful spotlight for the rescue.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so who's the furry little friend that you have in your hands?
So this little girl, she's going to be famous. Her name is RuPaw. She's a litter of 5. Her litter was found in a box, and when they were newborns, they still had their umbilical cord still attached, and they were in Clayton County, and they came to us as newborns. And I submitted her to the Puppy Bowl over the summer, and she was cast, and she's going to be a huge star.
Jennifer, what was your reaction when you found out that she made the cut?
Oh, I was so excited. I mean, I kind of knew, because look how cute.
Absolutely.
Look at her.
How could you say no to that superstar face?
Absolutely, absolutely. And she did really well. I think she's gonna get a lot of airtime today.
Okay. Well, what is the experience like? You go out, is there a green room for the doggos? Walk me through it.
Oh, yeah. There certainly is. We fly up. It's filmed in New York. So we fly up, we stay overnight at a hotel, and then we're on set at 8 a.m. and there's a puppy green room. And all day long, she's in photo shoots and she's out on the field, and lots of activity all day long. They're filming not just for the game, but also for their social media and promotion. So it's a long day, and we get out of there at about 8 p.m.
Okay, well, we all know, and maybe some people are new to Bosley's Place, but you did mention the first dog that you had there had some disabilities. Bosley's Place is great for taking care of disabled dogs and with dogs with special needs. So talk to us a little bit more about the mission there, but also why it was so important to get a place like the Puppy Bowl, what do I want to say, a public stage like that for Bosley's Place.
I mean, it's important for every rescue across the nation, and there were 150 rescues that participated this year. So Puppy Bowl is a huge platform, and it's amazing that it happens. Bosley's Place in particular, I mean, we're a neonatal rescue, so all we do are newborn puppies, and unfortunately, we don't ever know what we're going to get. So we've, over the last 10 years, had to become experts in special needs cases. But, we're here to support the community as well. We've got other rescues, hundreds of rescues in Atlanta, and sometimes they take pregnant moms and she just rejects one baby or even the whole litter, and we're here to support them as well.
Okay, well, let me ask you this too. We know that so many people love tuning into the Puppy Bowl. It's a cute experience and it's fun, but what are you hoping that people take away from getting to tune in, or maybe even hearing a story like RuPa's from Bosley's Place?
Well, so RuPaw is actually a purebred Boston Terrier. And I think the biggest message that we want to send is that you can get any kind of puppy that you want. We actually have a litter of doodles coming available this week. Adopt, don't shop. Fostering saves lives. If you have room to open your heart and your home, do it. It's very rewarding and worth it.
Got you. Okay, so you said that you think she's going to get a lot of airtime. Tell us, is RuPaw here to play nice, or does she want to dominate during the Puppy Bowl?
I gotta keep that a secret. You're gonna have to tune in.
Okay.
You're gonna have to tune in. She plays a very special part, but I don't want to be the spoiler.
Okay, we will definitely tune in. What is it? Is it 2 o'clock or 2:30 Eastern time when the game starts?
2 p.m. is when the game starts, but there is a pregame at 1 p.m. and there'll be lots of adorable photos all day long. all day.
Oh, yeah, I mean, let's talk about the pregame. Wait, you guys are hosting something here locally in case anybody's watching this right now, wants to get out there and meet a couple of
Come join us. Everybody watching, come. We're at Stout Brothers in the Smyrna Square, and we're here. We're going to have adoptable puppies as well as this little superstar. We're here from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., and everybody is welcome to join us. The public is welcome to join us. We've got snacks, and they've got plenty of beer here for those who are of age.
Got you. Okay, last question for you. Where can people learn more information about Bosley's Place, whether it's online or social media? Where do we go?
Well, we do have a website, which is bosleysplace.com, but the best place to get daily updates on the adorable photos is on our social media, either Facebook or Instagram.
Okay. Jennifer, thank you so much for making some time for us. I know you got to get ready for your big party, but getting to take a step away and, walking us through. Also, I absolutely loved RuPaul. She is a little lady. She's been so well behaved.
She's the bestest little girl. And she's so sweet. Thank you for having us and spreading the awareness about rescue.
No problem at all. Hope you do well tonight. See you later.
Thank you.
All right, so you guys, that's just one of the many shelters participating in the Puppy Bowl. You guys will be able to watch it later on today. And actually, our Kim Loeffler got to sit down with a representative from this year's Puppy Bowl. She can explain a little bit more about what we're expecting to see today.
I am joined now by someone who has one of the best jobs on the face of the earth, Mr. Dan Schachner. Dan, thanks so much for joining us. You're heading into your 15th year as the referee for the Puppy Bowl, where Team Ruff and Team Fluff are going to be going head-to-head for the coveted Lombardi Trophy. And I see we have a special guest. Tell us who you have with you.
I can't go anywhere without a dog. And this is Gil. He's from the Saddle Project. It's one of our rescues. And he's repping Team Ruff this year. And we're really excited to tell you all about Puppy Bowl.
Amazing. So a little bit, obviously, as I mentioned, you're going into your 15th year.
Yeah.
So what is something that you look forward to each and every year?
What I look forward to the most is how every dog can surprise me. No two dogs are alike, obviously. They each have their own backgrounds. They each have their own challenges as well. We have 15 special needs dogs, the most amount ever. And then we have dogs that simply, are looking for a home and may have been overlooked for one reason or another. Puppy Bowl has a 100% adoption rate. So all of our dogs do get adopted by the time Puppy Bowl is done airing. But with 150 dogs, that's a record for us this year. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Amazing. That must make you feel so good to know that you just played a small role in these dogs finding their forever home.
100%. And, it's easy. I always say it's easy to get dogs on national TV adopted because they're adorable and whatever. But the rescues that we work with, 72 across the country, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, all report an uptick in adoption inquiries. Like the Saddle Project, they're going to have a bunch of dogs on Puppy Bowl. They're going to report and that's what it is. It's a lasting impact once Puppy Bowl ends.
Amazing. And I understand this year, you guys are also going to be featuring senior dogs as well. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So excited about that. Our halftime show is another bowl. I guess it's a bowl inside of a bowl. And you're going to have a senior exhibition game called the Pro Dog Halftime Game. All senior adoptable dogs playing football as well. It'll be a mini game, maybe 5-10 minutes, not too long, but enough to get people excited and interested. And listen, support our message that all dogs need a home.
As a senior dog mom myself, I can tell you they are the absolute best. Now,
the best.
Any different rules for the senior bowl game here?
They're less toy motivated than the younger ones are. Senior dogs have really seen it all. So, throwing a chew toy to get them going is not the most invigorating thing for them. There's a lot more excessive slumbering penalties being thrown, a lot more loitering penalties, wallflowering. Dogs are taking their time. So we've got a slower game pace overall. The penalties do remain the same, but just, it's a little calmer, more chill, which again could appeal to some families.
For people who have, tuned into the Puppy Bowl each and every year, what can they expect this year? The same kind of energy and excitement that we see each and every year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, again, 150 dogs, but we've got a pre-game kickoff. And during that time, you're going to see a skills test, a combine, if you will, of what it takes to become a Puppy Bowl pup. So you're going to watch the final 10 puppies of our roster get drafted right before game day. It's going to be super exciting. But what I like about the pre-game show is that it shows you all the energy and the skills going into the big game and all the preparation that's involved in getting there. I'm excited because of that, because of the special needs dogs that I've mentioned, and because we have a 100% adoption rate every single year.
Amazing, amazing. Looking forward to it. So just remind us when and where we can watch.
Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's February 8th on Animal Planet, on Discovery. It's also going to be on TBS, True TV, and streaming on HBO Max.
Amazing. Well, I'll definitely be tuning in. Dan, thank you so much for taking some time this morning, and we're looking forward to it.
And Bosley's Place is from Atlanta, and they're repped in Puppy Bowl, too. So shout out to them.
There we go. There we go.
Thanks,
all
guys.
right. Thanks, Dan.
All right, we are all rooting for RuPaw from Bosley's Place. That's going to be a great one, but still, remember, we are keeping up with the Atlanta Police Department. They are looking for 3 suspects who they believe were involved in the shooting of a child. This was believed to be a targeted shooting. The child was not supposed to be the target of that shooting, though. That child was taken to the hospital where they had to undergo surgery. So we'll be bringing you the latest on that. Make sure you're sticking with us here on Fox Local, on Fox 5 News Live. Also, remember that still ahead, the Super Bowl. Hope you guys are going to have a great time, whether you are going to a watch party, you got something cooking at home, whatever it may be safe, and go Seahawks. You guys, thanks for joining me. I'm Judea Murray. I will be here throughout the week, so come back to Fox 5 News Live when you're looking for some more news.